These games are enormous.
We are taking them boys to the Hurt Arena this weekend.
We need to have winning Lions series. We need to show the world that this is a team and a tour that's worthy of its status in the game. So it's for the future of the Lions that they're playing for.
I think that Australians, you never underestimate the Wallabies.
The Wallabies are putting it up. Jorgensen will take it out to the air, and Jorgensen scores in the right corner.
To win this series, you had to win 2 games, and that's what we're going to go and do next week.
The lion wakes, and at the right point, it goes for the jugular.
Go time. You're listening to the British and Irish Lions versus the Wallabies in the second test, live for you here on Talksport. By the way, of the last 2 Lions tours down under, the Wallabies have then gone on to reach the World Cup final in the 2 years later. So the Lions tour is absolutely huge for the Aussies, and the state of rugby there at this moment in time. Like I say, kick-off not far away. You've got a stellar lineup for you here on Talksport. Former Lions Ben Kay and Alex Cuthbert with us today. And here's a recap of your team news with our commentator Andrew McKenna.
Well, both sides have made 3 changes. The Wallabies 3, Dave Parecki, Will Skelton and Rob Valentini coming into the starting lineup. Matt Fessler, Nick Champion de Krepny and Jeremy Williams are the men to miss out. Williams has dropped down to the bench. It's 3 changes for the Lions as well, as Andrew Porter, Ollie Chesham and Bundy Aki all come into the starting lineup. Ellis Genge has dropped down to the bench. Joe McCarthy and Sione Tuipulotu the men to miss out.
Maka, thank you very much. Joe Schmidt said at Alex coming into this game that this is going to be a bit of a different test in terms of physicality. Do you believe that too?
Well, I hope so, because otherwise they've got no chance of beating this Lions side. So, I expect the Lions to really bring that physicality battle again, and obviously they know they lost that battle, which is why they've made these changes. I think Joe Smith obviously spoke about it. He didn't want to make too many changes, in key positions like 9 and 10, but you can make those changes at the front 5, and the likes of Will Skelton and Valentini and obviously going the 6-2 split on the bench. They're obviously going to bring it, aren't they? I think that's going to be an area where it's just how long can they hold that physicality battle for, I think, with the Lions bench.
OK, Alex, thank you. Maka, 100,000 fans today at the MCG. It's a huge moment for rugby in the country, but it's struggling to dominate as one of their main sports. But the atmosphere really starting to pick up now, Maka.
Absolutely. They've just turned out the house lights as they project the team logos onto the outfield, and we are just about there. We don't know exactly what the crowd is going to be. We know it's going to be over 90,000. Could we get over the magic 100,000? By the way, anything that starts with a 9 is a new record for the British and Irish Lions. So it's an absolutely massive moment in terms of this. Will we get that extra 10,000? They were hoping for some walk-up after the First Nations and Pacifica game on Tuesday to pique the interest of the Melbourne public. Worth stressing, Melbourne is Aussie rules and rugby league. It is not a rugby union heartland. So to get 90,000, even 100,000 people in this stadium is something that is absolutely remarkable. We're about to have the Welcome to Country. Welcome to Country, of course, the official invitation onto the tribal lands, and that it happens ahead of all big ceremonial matters, not only sport but politics and everything else as well. So it is that welcoming onto the tribal lands. Auntie Joy Murphy will be performing the Welcome to Country for us in just a moment's time. The bowl down beneath us, just about full. There's some latecomers making their way into the stadium, and the lights start dancing all around the MCG. It's predominantly yellow and gold, green and gold at the moment, as you might imagine, to take us through this. The house lights are completely down. We've got flamethrowers going off between the posts at both ends, and then over on the far side as well. We are rapidly approaching the kick-off. By the way, for anyone who's thinking slightly later today, yes, we are slightly later. Kick-off in this one is at 4 minutes past the hour. We're not quite sure why they put it back a minute from last week, but that is indeed what is happening. So slightly delayed, and now the lasers from the stand on the far side, the Great South stand here at the MCG. We are in the North stand on the side. We're basically looking down the cricket wicket, if there was a game of cricket going on, as the lasers start dancing around the outfield. and we're about to have the welcome to country just once they continue the final part of the warm-up.
The welcome to country coming very, very soon. In terms of the atmosphere, guys, I mean, it's important this to be a huge game for the Aussies today, because they've got the Rugby World Cup, of course, in 2027, so they really want to make a mark in this series, don't they? That's what you want today. You want a leveller.
Yeah, it's massive for the country. You know, Macca mentioned about the Aussie rules and the rugby league being the bigger codes down here. Mm-hmm. And you know what Australia's like. They just want success. If they have a successful side, everyone will get behind it. So I think the atmosphere is going to be incredible in here. The one thing I will say is, if Jack Morgan, having spoken to so many of the Lions fans and listened to their accents, if he comes off the bench, you're going to hear the loudest ever roar in sporting history, I think.
And that'll just be from Alex Cuff.
That'll be from me.
I was going to say, as we Welsh pal, I mean, Alex, it's delightful to see him there in the squad, and also, you know, it means a lot to the Welsh people here as well.
Yes, 100%. There's so many Welsh fans out here, and they were praying for him to get on the bench or involved, just so they could come to these games and cheer, you know, Jack on. He's literally got the whole nation on his back, you know, and he's wearing it with pride, and I think he's going to come on. I think he will have the biggest cheer, I hope. So, I'm very much looking forward to seeing him get on.
I bet you are. We touched on this earlier on. If you have just joined us here on Talksport, the Wallabies against the British and Irish Lions in the second test. This is a huge event today at the MCG, an absolute cauldron, an absolute cracker of an arena, 100,000 fans, and the Wallabies ended up being a little bit late. And things are running ever so slightly later just now as well, Macca. Do you think it's had a knock-on effect?
Well, it shouldn't do, because they, as Ben said earlier, they build redundancy into the timings, but what does happen is they can't start the light show till the players leave the field, and the players are supposed to leave the field at a set time, and then the whole light show, welcome to country, is all timed to the nth degree. Auntie Joy Murphy was supposed to start welcome to country at 10:54 and 30 seconds. That's how timed this is. But we are now past 10:58 UK time, which tells you just how much they've had to squeeze this all together. So it wouldn't surprise me if we are therefore a couple of minutes late actually kicking off, because we still have Welcome to Country, we still have the Aussie anthem, and then there is a 2-minute pause between the anthem and kick-off, so that TV can take advertising breaks should they want/need to. So it wouldn't surprise me if we are a couple of minutes over where we should be. I've got to tell you at the moment, Shaban, the lasers are going off at the moment, and then they've now got everyone with their mobile phones to put the torch on. It feels a bit like a Coldplay concert, but let's not go there.
Ben, run for the hills. Mac is waiting in the wings there. Listen, the guys are now coming out. The Wallabies are lined up. They're in the tunnel now, so we're going to go pitch side to our reporter Alfie Reynolds in the middle of that cauldron at the MCG. Alfie, what's the latest for your standing?
Oh, I tell you what, Shaban, I've had goosebumps standing here pitch side ahead of this one. One of the most iconic stadiums in the world as the two teams take to the MCG. I wonder whether in years' time we will be talking about the Lions Tour of 2025 when 100,000 people rocked up to the MCG. Did they witness the Lions win the series, or did they see a remarkable Wallabies fight back? We will be having the national anthems in just a moment. This place absolutely rocking. It's going to be a good one.
I absolutely love it. It is going off just now. There's slightly delay, almost adding to the energy inside the MCGs. The players flood out onto the pitch. Here they come with their mascots running alongside them as well. Macca, do we think Auntie Joy's stuck in traffic?
I wouldn't have thought so, but it does appear that Welcome to Country is now not going to happen, and we're going to go straight into Thomas McGuane to deliver us the anthem, because you don't... Looking at the 46 athletes out on the pitch, I would not want to try and hold them back any more than they already have been. They have appeared away from the tunnel to our right, and we're seeing lasers at the moment. There is laser focus on those eyes.
Oh, I love that. Listen, of course the Lions have advantage in this test, going into the second test. So a lot of people want to see a leveller today from the Wallabies. Quick predictions, very quickly before we go. Ben Kay.
I want to see a leveller as well, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Lions are going to be too strong for them. Pull away at the end. I think the Wallabies will be really competitive in the first 40, but I'm going to go for a Lions win. I'll go for by 10.
Okay, Kathy?
Yeah, I think the Lions will be too strong, but I think it'll be very close till the last 5-10 minutes, and the bench is going to make a massive difference, so I'm going to go Lions by 8.
Okay, you're listening to this game here on Talksport. It is the Wallabies taking on the British and Irish Lions. Here is Andrew McKenna, your commentator.
And let's get straight to the anthems with Thomas McGuane.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing. Advance Australia
Well, those of you tuning in on Talksport Saturday morning in the UK, I don't know if you've just actually heard that through the radio or naturally through the ether from Australia. It is loud. It is really loud in the MCG, and just what you need to stoke it up a little bit more is AC/DC before kick-off. The players are now just going to take a moment or two, just a couple of final moments before kick-off. The British and Irish Lions, by the way, the last time they've won the first test, the last 3 occasions, they've gone on to lose the second. 2001, 2013, 2021. Well, the Melbourne Cricket Ground has been the home of many an epic sporting performance. The former Glamorgan and England cricket spin bowler Robert Croft used to say, "When I'm playing for Glamorgan, I'm playing for Wales. When I'm playing for England, I'm playing for the British and Irish Lions." Well, today rugby and cricket collide as the British and Irish Lions try and record a win that would clinch their first series victory since 2013 in front of almost 100,000 people. I'm going to tell you, it is very close to 100,000. There are very few empty seats in this enormous concrete bowl. The Lions won the toss earlier and will kick off. They will play from left to right in the first half, and Finn Russell has the ball. He's just bouncing it a few times on the centre spot, waiting for our TV floor manager to tell Andrea Piardi in his 17th test match. 17 test matches only for the Italian. He took charge of the Lions against the Australia-New Zealand invitation side, but the Lions won 48-0. He was also the referee of Ireland's game against Georgia a couple of weeks back that they won 34-5. But the countdown is on. Finn Russell has ball in hand, the whistle is blown, and Finn Russell starts the second test match, and he goes high and hanging to the left-hand side, and Australia have made a mess of the opening kick-off. It's bounced around loose, it's been batted into the touch on the far side, and the British and Irish Lions will have a line out 4 metres outside of the Australian 22. In fact, no, they haven't. They've said that the Lions have got hand on it in the end, and it's gone into touch on the far side, so the Wallabies have the throw. But Ben, that is not a convincing start.
No, and a combative kick from Finn Russell to compete, rather than, as we so often see, the longer one. Australia go quick round the front, though.
They have dumped it into the front, and it'll be the hooker, Dave Parecki, taking it up the far side in the 5 metre channel. Wallabies will recycle. And Will Skelton uses that enormous frame to elongate the ruck as much as he can. Up she goes into the air by Jake Gordon. Well taken by James Lowe. 10 outside of the British and Irish Lions 22. The second test match, exclusively live on Talksport. British and Irish Lions 1-0 up. One more to play after this. A win tonight, it is series done and dusted. Slow ball for Jamison Gibson Park. It's going to go up right-footed. The chasers go down the left-hand side through low. Underneath this is Tom Liner on his own 10-metre line. Takes the catch safely enough, and Australia get around him. Will Skelton will be giving carrying duties. Maro Itoje and Porter are making the tackle, but the Lions don't clear the tackle zone quickly enough. Maro Itoje put a hand in, and it's a penalty to Australia. 2005 British and Irish Lion Ben Kelly.
Well, Will Skelton there, the first big carrier for the Wallabies, and he's slow back to his feet. Physio's on to speak to him. He's just raising his eyebrows, which might suggest that it's his head that's he's struggling with a little bit there. It's been a massive psychological blow if he has to leave the field early for Australia. He seems to have shaken it off. Big carry into Maro Itoje. Chesham added his weight. Porter there as well. Maro Itoje strips the ball after Skelton's knees are on the floor. That's why the Wallabies have the penalty, and this line-out throw just inside the Lions' 10.
And Parecki throws. He goes over the top, and it's Valentini straight away. The blindside flanker peeling away from the line-out. Takes it into midfield, and it is recycled by the Wallabies to the right-hand side. They're 15 in from the right-hand touchline. Opportunity for Nick Frost to take it into contact. Lions defence holding firm at the moment. Wallabies have made about 5 metres. Now it goes to Len Ikitau into the back line. He combines with Valentini. Quick ball available, and it's going to go to the right hand side. Tom Liner tries to glide around the outside. That gap closes up. Jake Gordon is looking left and right, decides to go to the right hand side. Good hand from Fraser McWright out onto the right wing. Wallabies still outside the Lions 22 though, as they come again. Alan Alalatoa, the tight head prop. Lions are coming flying out defensively to try and meet Ikitau, and the pass to Sualihi, and also to Tom Wright goes to ground. It's broken down. Wallabies with a half break through Gordon. The scrum half to the right hand side. Big ball out now over the top, and the Wallabies not getting any advantage from that, says referee Andrea Piardi, and so we will come back for a penalty.
Great attacking start from the Wallabies. That'll give them a huge amount of confidence. They were winning the collisions. It's what they didn't do in the first half in Brisbane, and it just gave Tom Liner so much more time. We saw big carries, a couple from Valentini. And the Lions were trying to fly out of the line, and because they started stationary, they had to hesitate, and they were beaten by good hands around the outside. Fraser McWright with the last ball. But they will be delighted with their shape and the fact that they didn't. Last week, the Lions were able to press them, got off the line really quickly, in their faces, big shots. The Lions looked a lot more hesitant there, and it's all to do with the quality of their initial carry from Valentini.
So Tom Liner gets to have the first kick at goal. He's a couple of metres outside the 22, just to the right of the post. It's still a pretty straightforward one for him. He steps up right-footed and he sends it straight down the middle. The Wallabies are on the board. It was the British and Irish Lions in Brisbane who were on the board inside of a minute with the early penalty. Well, this week it is the Wallabies. 3-0 with the opening penalty, and the Lions have gone quick from the restart, and down the right-hand side, ball will be out to play 5 metres from the corner flag.
Coach killer for Schmidt. The first thing that happens when you get points is you want everyone to switch back onto the kickoff. Finn Russell sprints down the field. All the Wallabies' backs are facing towards him, back towards their own post. They're idling back into position. Finn Russell kicks off, and now the Wallabies have to survive their own throw on their own 5-metre line. Big turnaround in the game.
Fair play, James Slipper. The 36-year-old loosehead prop was leading the charge back to try and make sure that ball wasn't going to do any damage. Line out to Australia. It is the skipper, Harry Wilson, wins it off at the top. It's given to Valentini to try and bash into the British and Irish Lions' bodies. The Wallabies leading 3-0 here on Talksport. We've played 5.5 minutes. Wallabies 10 out from their own line, 15 in from the left touchline. Gordon clears right-footed, excellent kick as well. That'll be up to the 10-metre line of the Wallabies half British and Irish Lions throw.
What a great exit that is from Australia. As you said, that kick from Gordon, not got the best angle. He had to kick it almost like a box kick over his own shoulder, and he's got it back to his own 10-metre line.
Sheehan with the throw, and straight away it's off the top. Tom Curry acts as the link, and the British and Irish Lions are centre of the pitch. Sheehan's hands on it again. Finn Russell drops it onto the right foot, tries to put it in behind Tom Wright. Tom Wright will back up to 10 metres from his own line, gives the liner. He's got 4 red shirts around him. He's managed to get the kick away somehow, and it'll still be the British and Irish Lions ball, but from a little bit further out. Good work by Finn Russell. The Lions are 10 metres outside of the Wallabies 22. Porter driving into the green and gold shirts. Recycled. Finn Russell comes to the right-hand side. Finds Keenan. Keenan tries to offload out of the tackle. Icky Tau blasts his way through the ruck. They've gone past the ball, the Wallabies. Play on for the Lions. Gibson Park comes to the right-hand side. Russell puts it slightly too far in front of Tom Curry and Tyg Byrne. We played 7 minutes here on Talksport. Australia 3, British and Irish Lions 0 Bankow.
The Wallabies are rattling the Lions. Very, very aggressive. They're actually unlucky not to get a penalty there because they counter-rucked really well, and I thought the Lions came in from the side to rescue it.
Throw by Parecki. Oh, that's a really good claim by Nick Frost. Right on his fingertips, all the way, full extension. Kick goes up from the Wallabies. Keenan will take 10 inside of the Lions half. Offloads to Freeman. The right winger is 15 in from the left touchline at the moment as he's taken to ground just before halfway. Sheehan with the carry. Itoje clears out over the top of that. Make sure that there's no green and gold hands going to get in the way of that one. Gibson Park takes his time, makes sure, puts it up, gives it to James Lowe to chase. James Lowe is going to be up, but he's not going to take it, but the Aussies have it after a loose ball bouncing around. Tom Liner has drilled it down the right-hand channel. Hugo Keenan will back up. 10 out from his own line. Will bring to the edge of the 22. Kicks down the left side and finds the safety of the touchline. Let's bring in Alex Cuthbert at this point. We've had 8.5 minutes. Alex, your thoughts?
Unbelievably good start from Australia. Breakdown massive. What you see is Skelton is such a nuisance at the breakdown. The Lions are having to bring in more players in that breakdown for even a kick chase or even attack. So they're really rattling the Lions, which is good to see.
Wallabies throw. Not the tidiest of ball, but they have it. 8 short of halfway. 15 in from the right touch. Gordon puts the box kick up. James Lowe is underneath that, takes it cleanly. Wilson is in on the tackle. Lowe does well to offload to Jamison Gibson Park, and he then finds Tyg Byrne. Byrne will be driven over the touchline on the far side. But Wallabies have come to play, folks. This stage last week we were thinking, well, where's the physicality? Where's the grit and determination? Wasn't there then. It is there this week. You are listening to exclusive coverage here on Talksport. British and Irish Lions against the Wallabies. Wallabies leading 3-0. Our coverage is sponsored by Tenor Men. Keep control. Wallabies with a line-out. Good line-out win in the middle by Frost. Worked into the midfield. Swalihi takes it on a short ball from his inside centre, Icky Tau, and the Lions haven't released in the breakdown again. Now this is dead centre of the pitch, 8 inside the Lions half. Potential kickable penalty.
You've got to take it. You've got to take those points. When you're so on top and you're not the favourites going into this game, just chip away at that scoreboard, get out to 3, 6, 9, and then you can start to play. Absolutely right decision from Wilson. He steps up, tells Piardi he wants the stick. Suali with his first big carry, gets half through on Aki. Curry comes in from the side and doesn't make a clear release before he attacks the ball in the jackal position, and that's what Andrea Piardi pinged him for.
What the referee is looking is, if you make the tackle, you've got to take your hands off the player, then you can go back in on the ball. No clear release by Tom Curry there. Tom Liner will have the shot at goal. Steps up, strikes it right-footed. It's on the way, and it sneaks in past the right upright. He is 2 from 2. He didn't land a kick in Brisbane. He is 2 from 2 this evening, and it is Australia 6, British and Irish Lions 0. We've played almost 11 minutes here on Talksport.
Much slower this time from Finn Russell. I presume that first kick-off we saw where they beat Australia to the chase was probably something pre-planned, but they now need to get a little bit of structure into this game, otherwise it's going to play into Australia's hands.
Russell goes down the left-hand side with the restart. Now the Wallabies have caught that, but have not played it away, and Andrea Piardi has said that is unplayable, and therefore it is a Lions ball.
The Wallabies are saying it's direct from a kick-off, so it shouldn't be, but the assistant referee and Piardi and O'Keefe on that side are just saying no, it wasn't a set maul. I think that's really harsh on the Wallabies. Lions get the put in.
Yeah, there was sort of a split second where they could have played the ball away, but it wasn't one of those long lingering moments that you would say, come on lads, you've had your chance there. Well, the Lions have got a decent attacking platform here. Scrum, 3 metres outside the 22, 5 in from the left-hand touchline. Right. First attempt at the scrum hasn't worked, and so we will reload. Interestingly, I can hear Andrea Piardi blowing his whistle, but I can't hear the instructions that he's giving the players at the moment, which is quite weird. I don't quite understand how his microphone can pick up a whistle but not his conversation. It'll be interesting to find out what he's telling the players at the moment with this particular scrum. Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan and Tyg Furlong for the Lions, up against James Slipper, David Parecki and Alan Atoa. Andrea Piardi gives his instructions. Ball is in. It's at the feet of Jack Conan. Scrum going forward. Lions win a penalty. They've got advantage. Jamison Gibson Park goes himself around the edge. Finn Russell's going to go back to the left-hand side. Tyg Furlong drops the ball, but they've got the penalty advantage anyway. There's a bit of push and shove, and Maro Itoje and Will Skelton get involved. Harry Wilson comes in as well. There's a big grin on the face of Will Skelton. This is what he's in the side for. I don't think the Lions appreciated the fact that someone came in and
Skelton, bit of a cheap shot. Referee's whistle goes. Furlong's got his back to Skelton and he drops his shoulder into his rib cage right in front of the rest of the pack. They all piled in. Skelton looked like he could handle himself though.
Yeah. How are we going to hear this conversation? Andrea Piardi, I can tell you, is doing the motion with the fingers saying, you are that close to having a problem, Will Skelton. He's got the thumb and first finger out. He's had a stern warning. And he's awarded a penalty. Well, we're going back for the original scrum penalty. Now this is 5 in from the touchline and just outside the 22. And Ben's just said, when you get opportunities to kick points, you take it. Well, Finn Russell thinks slightly differently, like he does about a lot of things.
Not for both sides. I think that's right. The Lions have had too much of the game down in their own half. They probably just want to stay here now. They know that probably 3 points at this stage isn't going to win them the game. If they can put some pressure on, get in the referee's mind that their forward pack is on top, apply a bit of pressure here.
Line out is won by Jack Conan, straight to Bundy Aki. Line to 2 metres out. Gibson Park round the left-hand edge. Offload to Maro Itoje to score! Try for the British and Irish Lions. There's Liner got underneath it. He's trying to claim he has. Andrea Piardi is shaking his head at something or other. There's more push and shove going on. Bit of biff.
Bring back the biff. Skelton's in there again.
Right, it's worth saying we have a change of TMO this week. It is Eric Gozan, the French official. So we need to check it.
Conan looks a little bit disappointed.
Now, Andrea Piardi has got both captains together. And Maro Itoje is signalling the rest of the Lions forwards to come back, as if to say this isn't going to be a try. Now, they're not broadcasting Andrea Piardi's mic on the stadium because there's a bloke on the PA. So they're now trying to explain it. And Maro Itoje pulls the rest of the forwards back. It is going to be a penalty to the Lions.
Conan who spills it as he's going over the line. Liner spots it. And we saw Jack Conan just a little bit disappointed as he got up. He knew, but I think they've come back for a penalty. Maybe Australia offside.
So it is a penalty 5 metres out. 10 in from the left touchline. Dan Sheehan is going to tap it and go himself. And he's got Maro Itoje next to him. The Lions are going to recycle. They go to the left-hand side through Andrew Porter. Tackle made on him. Lions are centimetres away from the try line. The Wallabies, green and gold shirts, wait. They pick and go from Ty Byrne on this occasion. 1 metre out is all they are. It's going to be a pick and go from Conan once again. He's not quite going to get there. Ball is available. Gibson Park's going to actually act as the bridge. Sheehan will pick up and go. He's very close. Good defending by the Wallabies. They've got a back under there. It's going to go into the back line. Jamison Gibson Park. To the right-hand side comes Keenan. They've gone across the face of the post. The Lions are still 5 metres out. 10 in from the right touchline. No advantage, says the referee, because the Wallabies were about to win a turnover, and we're going back for the penalty for the Wallabies being offside. We played 15 minutes here on Talksport. Australia 6, British and Irish Lions 0, but the last 3 or 4 minutes have been the Lions camped 5 metres out from the Wallabies try line. They've not been able to seal the deal just yet, though, Banker.
Great defence from the Wallabies, although they've given away their penalty. Jorgensen with a huge hit on the line to prevent the forwards, and then Finn Russell span wide. And the mixture of Harry Potter and Tom Wright at the back snuffed out that Lions attack, but they go again.
They're going to take it again. There's a tap and go, and Dan Sheehan has scored the try in an NFL running back style. The ball gets tapped, he comes flying forward, he knows they're going to go low, and he just dives over the top, places the ball down. The Wallabies will argue, is he jumping to avoid a tackle, which would be a penalty?
But you can jump to dive, and that's the key here. He hasn't jumped over a tackler, although he has. He's jumped to dive over onto them, and because he makes the try line, I think that's fine. There's no such thing about not being able to jump over a tackler. It comes under dangerous play, but you can dive for the line, and because he makes the line, really interestingly, his last carry, he was the person that tapped the penalty the last go, and he dived at the knees of Australia. This time they think he's going to do the same, go as low as they can. He dives over the top of them, as you said, into the end zone. Touchdown.
Finn Russell, unfortunately, has not been able to add the extra point, or in this case the conversion, as it hits the left-hand upright. So the Lions are on the board. They trail by 1, 6-5 in favour of Australia. Don't forget, of course, huge weekend of sports. We're starting off this morning all weekend over on Talksport 2. You got the World Darts match playing Blackpool, and of course the small matter of the Lionesses in the European Championship final tomorrow against Spain. The build-up starts here on Talksport at 4 o'clock. Wallabies have restarted.
Use it!
They've gone right of centre, and the Lions will take it 10 outside their own 22. Finn Russell will put the ball up into this night sky. I can tell you it has now stopped raining, but there is bound to be a bit of residual moisture and grease on the ball. And as the Lions go and contest that ball, Hugo Keenan, he knocks it on. It will be a scrum down to the Wallabies on halfway.
Where this game might be won is how many times both sides can get respectively down into the opposition's 5 metre line, because the major threat with Skelton is his pick and go game. Valentini will be good on that as well. This is a game of field position. The Lions have looked really, really good in that ultra red zone right against the Wallabies try line. The Wallabies need to get some time down the Lions end of the field. They'll get a scrum put in now on the halfway line. Just wonder where the line is just eyeing up how deep James Lowe is, whether he can put the ball in behind him. He's just whispered something along the line, having eyeballed Lowe on that left-hand wing as the Lions look at it. Right-hand side as Liner looks at it.
Fine!
This is the 5th Test match that the Wallabies have played at the MCG, all of them against New Zealand previously. 1-2, lost 2. The last one was a couple of years ago.
Straight down, guys.
And before that it was 2007 and a couple of games in the late 90s. So this group of players aren't that familiar. Harry Wilson is a massive sport billy. Basically any sport he absolutely loves. And he was saying that he came to the G, as it's known locally, many, many years ago to watch a game of cricket when he was about 10. But coming here to train this week was the first time he'd been back since, and he actually had to be guided from the dressing rooms to the field of play, as it is a bit of a rabbit warren underneath this enormous venue.
Break foot, guys. Coach!
Scrum to the Wallabies.
Mine!
At halfway between the centre of the pitch and the left-hand side, just on the halfway line. All the backs now to the right-hand side, that's where they're going to go. Len Ikitau combines with Liner. Harry Potter's into the line as well, the left winger. All the way out to Jorgensen on the right wing. He's dropped it onto the toe, and it was played by Hugh Jones out on the far side. Just got a touch on it, and it's into touch.
6-2 split's going to come into play here, because Harry Potter immediately after that play grabbed his right hamstring. I think he might have pulled it here. He's tracking Liner, gets the ball, gets that pass away, and as he tries to put the brakes on, I think his hamstring's gone. This is disastrous for him. He immediately looked devastated, hands on top of his head now, almost as though he's in tears.
Well, let's get down to the bench, because the Wallabies are stripping someone off, Alfie Reynolds.
And as Ben has just said, what are they going to do here to reshuffle their pack? Tate McDermott, the replacement scrum half, is stripped off to come onto the field. You feel for Harry Potter. You guys called it perfectly. He grabbed his hamstring immediately. So his evening is over, and Tate McDermott is going to come onto the field of play here.
Well, that was a huge similarity to Thursday night, as I went and watched the classic Wallabies against the British and Irish legends, a game featuring one Alex Cuthbert, but unfortunately, Alex, and the night was very similar because Drew Mitchell, another Wallabies winger, was herring, well, I'll use the phrase loosely, down the left-hand side as he went in the hamstring and got done by a sniper. So it's sort of history repeating itself.
It is a little bit, and I was running behind him saying, mate, you're running too fast. And this how he went. Yeah, it was great fun. Obviously, I'm absolutely gutted of Harry Potter. He's one of those sort of back three players. You give him any space, he's got that offload ability. But this is a big chance for Australia. You know, in the 22, like Ben spoke about, first time to see if they can make the most of it.
Well, we're approaching the first quarter completed.
Decent middle three, that Valentini with Len Ikitau outside of Sualihi out here, and they're all going to run down the same channel.
Well, the line-out has been won. Peel away is McDermott. It goes to Jorgensen, so they'll come on the next carry, presumably. Slipper takes it into contact. Wallabies are just inside the Lions 22. Now it's Skelton, almost gets through Maro Itoje. They've got Swahili coming on a crash ball line in front of the right-hand upright as they come across the face of the post. Recycled once again. Gordon wants it quickly. Skelton with the carry. Furlong makes the tackle on him. Valentini comes to the left-hand side. Oh my goodness, that's a big collision. There were numbers out to the right, but Valentini was always coming left. This is the Wallabies, 7 metres out. They've got penalty advantage. They've got a freebie. They can have a crack, and the ball's not going to come back from Parecki. Lions don't roll away. Almost 21 minutes played. Australia 6, British and Irish Lions 5, Benkei.
Valentini's just shaking his head there. He's done well to jump straight back up, but I think Andrew Porter might have caught him head on head. Just hope, for the Lions' sake, that doesn't get reviewed by the TMO. But what a difference, Skelton and Valentini. Last week they couldn't make any metres at all. It's just being shown now on the big screen. Looks like he might have got away with it, Porter.
Porter's head makes contact with Valentini's shoulder, and Valentini's shoulder makes contact with Porter. So let's call that one even. Parecki with the line-out throw, 5 metres out. It's a win by Frost at the front. The Wallabies are going to try and muscle it over. It's been taken down, but it's been taken down by Australia, so it's not a penalty against the Lions. Gordon will have to play. Goes infield to Liner. Combination to Jorgensen. Tries to dance his way through the pile of bodies. The Wallabies are 8 metres out in front of the left upright. Penalty advantage against the Lions. And the double blast of the whistle normally means card coming. At the very least, he wants a conversation. The amount of penalties the Lions are giving away. 22 minutes played. Let's listen.
We lost any chance. Next one is going to the bin. Yes.
The next one is going to the bin, is what Andrea Piardi tells Maro Itoje. Itoje asked for time to go and speak to the players, and he's now walking along the line, relaying the instructions. Now, this is a gimme 3, but the Wallabies are not interested. They're going power play, they're going for the left corner, line out 5 metres out.
Yeah, their last line out drive was really good. The referee let the Lions get in there and said that Australia pulled it to the ground, but their initial movement was really good forward, so they'll try and challenge the Lions again here.
Parecki throws, Frost takes it, leap again, and immediately the Wallabies have got the drive coming. They move forward, they're 4 metres out from the Lions try line. Because it's gone through the mark, the backs can come in as well. So Jorgensen's in there. Now it does go to ground. They're going to come to the left-hand side. Gordon's going for it himself. Doesn't get there. The Lions are offside again. There's going to be someone going to the bin. The Wallabies have got up and over the line there, I think. Andrea Piardi says nothing at the moment and allows play to continue. Australia will pick and go around the left-hand edge. They're denied. Now it's McWright, centimetres short of the line. 5 in from the left touchline. Slipper, has he got there? He's gone underneath the tackle, I think. And James Slipper, the man who played against the Lions 12 years ago for the Wallabies, has the try. Only his 4th in international rugby and his first since October of 2022 against Scotland.
14,
and Australia 11-5 they lead, and they're going to have an extra player as well because Tommy Freeman will go to the bin. Andrea Piardi decided. I said next defence was going. Tommy Freeman committed it, and the try didn't affect that. So it's 11-5 conversion to come.
How good from Australia. We mentioned about that 5-metre red zone just outside the line. I thought Ikitau did get there. He thought he got there as well. The referee didn't see it. They didn't panic. They kept going. And then James Slipper does what all good props do when they're that close to the line. Gets into the scrummage position, almost takes the hit and then extends the leg as though he was going into a scrum and pops over the line. The Wallabies are a totally different side this week.
Unfortunately for them, Liner hasn't been able to add to the conversion, so it is the 6-point lead. So 1 try either side. Dan Sheehan for the Lions on 16 minutes, James Slipper for the Wallabies on 23. But the 2 penalties from Liner on 4 and 10 are currently the difference makers. Now, the Lions down to 14 for the next 10 minutes.
Interestingly, again, slowing it down, walking back. You'd think with some of the bodies Australia have picked and the chat about can they last, well, how long can Valentini and Skelton last? The Lions are the ones slowing it down at the moment.
Restart to the left-hand side. Frost, he'd actually jumped and then was back on the floor as he caught that ball. Lions try and turn it over, but there's hands on the floor when they're on the ground. It's Maro Itoje, and the penalty is given to Australia.
Alex, how will the Lions back 3 now deal with Tommy Freeman off the field?
Yeah, it's going to be hard, but I think Finn Russell will probably step back a little bit more further, like deeper, just so they can help out Hugo Keenan. But Hugo Keenan, he's so fit, he's so good at covering the ground. But James Lowe, he's going to have to really help out. They're probably going to have to be, you know, I think you saw a try on the week in the week with the Farrell chipped over when Pacifica lost their left winger. It'll be interesting to see here whether they fill James Lowe, who's coming out here, so they don't have that left wing covering the normal kick.
Yeah, so it's a right side line out for the Wallabies, the left side of the Lions. So James Lowe's come all the way out to the right wing to fill the gap. It's been won on the line out by the Wallabies. Straight into midfield through Ikitau. Skelton will get carrying duties now. Sheehan and Chesham put him to the floor. They're a couple of metres inside the Lions' 10-metre line. Ball to Swalihi. It's spilt and it's gone forward. Opportunity for the Lions. They're going to go down the right-hand side, kick it deep, bouncing into the 22. Liner will allow Tom Wright to gather the ball. 10 from his own line, gets round low. Up to the edge of the 22, gets it to the left-hand side. McDermott, tackled by Conan. Conan down on his knees. McDermott has got up to almost the 10-metre line. Now Valentini with a big, strong carry. Quick ball available for the Wallabies. Liner puts it into the back line. Tom Wright's going to go to the right-hand side now, trying to take advantage of that particular space. Ball will bounce and bounce. It goes into touch, 50-22 for the Wallabies. I think Keenan took it into touch anyway, so it was going to be a Wallabies line-out. But listen to the MCG. They're definitely behind their Wallabies this evening. They are leading by 6. 26 minutes played here on Talksport.
This is brilliant from Wallabies. That carry from Gordon up the touchline. Was it McDermott? Sorry. And he bounced off Jack Conan, huge carry, and then on the front foot they spotted their opportunity for the 50-22, nailed a perfect kick, and now this purple patch for Australia continues. They're on the front foot just inside the 22. Ollie Chesham just getting some treatment as well. Wonder whether that is an injury or whether the Lions just need to put a spanner in the works of the Wallabies' momentum that they've built in this last 5 minutes or so.
Possibly a stinger, judging by what they're doing to Ollie Chesham, but it could easily be the kick-out call. Take a break.
Go.
And the referee is saying, as Ollie Chesham gets back to his feet, come on lads, let's get it going.
Dermot just steps at the last minute on that carry into Conan. Conan was racing to the touchline, and the smaller man made him look a little bit silly.
Wallabies win the line-out. They're going to peel into midfield where Valentini bumps into Curry, bounces away out of that one. Wilson is the next with the carry. Here come the forwards again. It's Slipper. Try. Scored already by James Slipper. And now it's Skelton. 18 metres out from the try line. Swalihi doesn't really get the opportunity to get much momentum into the ball. Tom Wright's going to act as first receiver as it's recycled. They've come to 15 in from the left touchline now. Skelton offloads to Alan Alalatoa. James Lowe across on the right hand side makes the tackle. Gordon goes short. There's huge space out on the right hand side, but the Wallabies haven't seen it. They need to call that one in. Jorgensen's got the freedom of Melbourne on the far side, but they're staying close quarters on the left hand side, the near side to us in the north stand here on Talksport. Once again, they're going to go through the tight areas. Lovely ball from Skelton. Tipped onto Valentini. Valentini comes down the left-hand side. Maro Itoje makes the tackle on him. Slipper's going to pick and go. Porter with the tackle. Still a lot of space out on that right-hand side for the time being. Len Ikitau with a strong carry for the Wallabies. 8 metres out from the try line. Gordon's just waving the forwards on, saying, I don't want it, you get on with it.
So Gibson Park's covering that long kick to Jorgensen. He's petrified, he's asking for support. Can Australia go right here?
Gordon's going to pick and go himself. Go round the edge and score the try. It opened up in front of him. And Jake Gordon scores his 4th try in Wallabies colours. And the Wallabies, it has to be said, have turned up big time this evening. 2nd try of the evening. James Slipper got the first just 5 minutes ago, and now Jake Gordon gets a second, and the Wallabies lead 16-5.
The Lions pummeled on the ropes there. 3 tacklers all committed and went to ground. That meant that no one was on the open side for the Lions, and they were desperate to get out and support Jamison Gibson Park wide left. Gordon spotted that, just showed the pass, and then held on to it and accelerated through untouched, under the sticks. The Wallabies on fire.
Liner adds the conversion as well. 13-point lead for the Wallabies. 18-5 in the MCG.
Well, it's the 2 props. He picks up the match-up, Gordon. And he's got Tyke Furlong just outside him. Tyke Furlong shows his back to follow the pass that never comes. And he splits between Andrew Porter and Tyke Furlong, and then Porter's never going to have the pace to catch him.
Tommy Freeman still in the sin bin. He was sin bin when James Slipper scored on 23. So there's still 3 more minutes of that sin bin. The Wallabies have scored 1 with the Lions down to 14. Can they find another? Here comes Jorgensen straight from the kickoff, taking it in his own 22, taking it to 10 short of halfway when the Lions finally get him to ground. Ball recycled. It'll be into the back line. Ikitau. Now Swahili. Can he get into his running? Yes, he can. He's up and over halfway. Looks to the left-hand side. Wallabies from 40 metres. Tom Wright's going to go in. 2 tries in a matter of minutes. Half an hour played. Wallabies, 3rd try of the evening. Huge space. Tom Wright takes full advantage. Australia 23, British and Irish Lions 5. Half an hour played.
Oh, this is Australia at their very, very best. The Lions have lost all their defensive line speed. They hang off them, and you cannot hang off the likes of Ikitau, Wright, and Sualihi. Sualihi carves the tired Lions defence open, just holds, little hitch kick, accelerates through again past Porter, who does his best, but gets the pass away. And Tom Wright, untouched, over the line. And the Lions walked back after that try was scored. Nothing said from Itoje, the captain. Took Finn Russell to walk over to Itoje and say, look, we need to sort this out. But at the moment, the Lions look shell-shocked, quiet, and this game is racing away from them.
Well, the good news for them is that Liner hasn't been able to add the conversion, so he's 2 from 4 from the kicking team. Let's get down to the touchline, because I'm fascinated to hear from Alfie, one about the atmosphere, but also what he can see happening on the British and Irish Lions bench.
Well, they look shell-shocked at the moment. You're absolutely right. The atmosphere when Tom Wright just went over this place went off. What a 31 minutes from the Wallabies. A complete contrast to what we saw in Brisbane. And at what point do the Lions decide to try and change something? Because it is all of the Wallabies fans making the noise at the moment.
Well, they've got to get back to 15. That's their first port of call. Lions restart. They go down the left-hand side once again. Wallabies secure the ball just outside of their own 22. And Jake Gordon will recycle it. Twice the British and Irish Lions have played a test in Melbourne. Twice they have lost.
How good has Valentini been as well? He has been the major difference tonight so far.
Box kick goes up from the Wallabies. It's taken by Hugo Keenan for the Lions. 5 inside the Wallabies half. There were people, Aussies, saying that last week Valentini and Skelton should have been playing, because if they could only get one game out of them with injury or whatever, then make it the first one. Give yourself the best chance. Ball has gone up into the air from the Lions. It's been spilled by Liner. Lions have turnover ball on the edge of the 22. Tyburn will put it to Finn Russell. Finn Russell out to the right-hand side. And Hugh Jones drops it on that occasion, slips through his fingers. And where it was so slick last week, it's not quite working as smoothly in the back line this week for the British and Irish Lions. But it is a knock-on from the Wallabies at the restart, so it will be a Lions scrum. They've still got 10 more seconds before Tommy Freeman can come back on, and we will have to have this scrum because the scrum has been awarded before the clock hits 0 for Tommy Freeman. So even though it's at 0 at the moment, although Freeman looks like he is about to come back on, which I'm slightly surprised about, because the scrum was awarded before his sin bin had expired. Well, Tommy Freeman is back. Okay, we'll take that.
The clock's still ticking.
Hey guys,
no,
come
it's
in.
not. They've stopped the clock now to allow him to come back on the field.
No water, guys. No water.
See it tick down, but that will make a big difference to the Lions. Finn Russell just a bit frustrated when that ball came loose. Chesham picked it up and he wanted it straight away. Actually went to Bundy Aki and he wanted it straight to attack on as quick as possible on the turnover. Get the ball wide to the other touchline. Just some of that communication not quite there for the Lions at the same time as they're playing against a completely different outfit in the Wallabies.
Scrum to the Lions on the Wallabies 22, 10 in from the right touchline. The Lions left, so therefore James Lowe is effectively standing next to Finn Russell, and it's going to go straight to Finn Russell from the scrum. Bundy Aki with the carry, lovely little offload ball to Lowe. He gets it to Keenan out to the right hand side. Here's Freeman back from the sin bin into the 22, up to the 5-metre line when he's finally taken to ground. Gibson Park will play to the left hand side. Finn Russell to Tyburn in front of the right hand upright. 10 metres out, they're going to come back to the right hand side. James Lowe with the carry, Harry Wilson with the tackle on him. Pick and go round the edge. It's Jack Hannon, floats the ball out. Tom Curry steps inside his man and scores in the right corner. British and Irish Lions try, and boy did they need that. Tom Curry scored one in the first. He's got one in the second as well. Australia 23, British and Irish Lions 10.
Well, no problem with the communication this time. Jameson Gibson Park choosing the right direction, and Conan spots his compatriot and loops round late. The Wallabies don't follow him. That creates a 2-on-1 on the outside. Conan gets the ball away perfectly as Jorgensen fires in to make the tackle. And that leaves flailing defenders racing towards the touchline, and Curry just uses their momentum against them, steps back inside and slides over right in front of the flailing Jake Gordon. Brilliant finish from the Lions, and they're right back in it.
Hang on. Right, Finn Russell had lined up the conversion about 50 centimetres in from the right touchline, and just as he was about to do the final part of his warm-up, Andrea Piardi said, actually, the mark is slightly more infield. So Finn Russell sort of smiled and said, all right, I'll move the ball then. Russell moves it that bit further infield and will line up this kick wide out on the right-hand side. Sends it on its way. It's going to drift across the face of the posts. Opportunity goes a-begging. 2 kicks at goal from Finn Russell, 2 unsuccessful so far, but the Lions needed a try. They've got a try.
That is interesting, isn't it? The missed kicks from Finn Russell, because we know he's on the bench. We know that one of the reasons for having him on the bench is when you need an injection of a bit of Owen Farrell and what he brings. And if Finn Russell keeps on missing the kicks, he could well be called in earlier to come on and take over that duty.
Australia have hit the restart deep. The Lions have kicked it back to them, and it'll be Tom Wright takes it in his own half, comes over halfway, tackled 10 inside of the Lions half. And Alatoa latest to carry. Ball will be recycled by the Wallabies. Harry Wilson, head down, just trucking it up, but they win the penalty. Australia have swung around the side, and Andrea Piardi picks it up. It's a penalty to the Lions. 10 short of halfway, centre of the pitch. Let's get the thoughts of Alex Cuthbert, 2013 British and Irish Lion. Bit happier now?
Yes, I think so. Lions, I think once they went down to that yellow card, they lost their line speed, because the way Australia is so aggressive at the breakdown that they're getting that speed of ball, and when you're one man down as well, you cannot bring that line speed, and Australia have real capitalised on that yellow card, but Lions have just eking their way back in, aren't they? I think this is where the bench is massive. This is why that 6-2 split. These big boys are going to start feeling a bit tired, especially at the end of this half.
Brilliant kick.
What a kick, right down, 7 metres out. Exactly what the forwards wanted. Huge kick from Finn Russell.
Sheehan to throw, left-hand side for the Lions. It'll be Tyburn way up in the Melbourne sky. Offload to Dan Sheehan. Dan Sheehan feints to go to Bundyaki, keeps it himself. Tackle 4 metres out. Hugh Jones just tips it on to Conan. The Lions in front of the left-hand post. Chesham's going to pick and go. Tries to make as many metres as he can. Ball will be recycled to the left-hand side to Sheehan. Australia are told to come off of that one. Lions will play to the right-hand side. Keenan goes to Hugh Jones. Hugh Jones up and over the line. Scores the try! Lions have their 3rd of the evening. They reduced the arrears further. It was 13. It's now down to 8. And Hugh Jones, who's had a wow of a tour. He scored 4 tries now on this tour. It's his first in the Test matches. It's Australia 23, Lions 15.
Well, again, the Wallabies not so good on their own line. They've been so good defensively, but they're a little bit hesitant. They don't number up the numbers to the right-hand side. And Keenan's gifted the ball with Finn Russell out the back. Maybe that took some of the eyes, but Hugh Jones, who's just dropped a pass not long ago, makes up for that with a huge carry, takes 2 defenders over the line and manages to keep the ball free of them and dots it down.
Finn Russell adds the conversion, 23-17. Of course, Hugh Jones wasn't meant to be playing in this game. When the team was picked by the British and Irish Lions this week, Gary Ringrose was in the starting 13 shirt. But he reported after training on Thursday, as Andy Farrell was about to walk into the press conference to name the team, that he'd had concussion-like symptoms once again and said, I don't think I'm good to go. He pulled out. Hugh Jones starts. Hugh Jones gets the try. Australia go deep. Jamison Gibson Park takes it 5 metres out from his own line. Plays a bit of matador rugby. Makes 5 metres further forward. They'll kick it down the left-hand side. The Wallabies will take it though and bring it back to within 5 of the halfway line. 10 in from the right touch line. Banger of a Test match this. Australia 23, Lions 17. Our exclusive coverage here on Talksport, presented by Tenormen. Find out more at tenormen.co.uk.
How will Australia react to this? Because we know their confidence isn't quite as high as maybe it is sometimes with Australia. And having raced out to that big lead and then been hauled back from the Lions just before half-time. Very interesting how they deal with it mentally.
Australia's ball, 8 short of halfway. Valentini, well, he took that ball but didn't really actually come onto it at any kind of pace. The Lions are going to come up and try and put pressure on Ikitau. Ikitau has got through a couple of tackles though, and he's finally taken to ground 3 metres inside the Lions half. Gibson Park gets his hands on that one, but it's stripped out of them, and it's a knock-on by Jamison Gibson Park. Wallabies have the ball. That is the hooter for the end of the first half, but the ball is still in play. The referee blows the whistle for the knock-on, and that will do it. What a 40 minutes that was, everybody. Wallabies out of the block so quickly with 2 liner penalties. Dan Sheehan's try for the Lions on 16. James Slipper re-establishing a solid Australia lead as he scored on 23 minutes, seeing Tommy Freeman sin bin in the same process. Jake Gordon went over during that sin bin period, as did Tom Wright. 2 tries in the space of a couple of minutes to make it 23-5. But Tom Curry and Hugh Jones have crossed to the Lions. Jones's try is converted. It is a 6-point lead at the break. It is all to play for in Melbourne. Australia 23, British and Irish Lions 17.
What an incredible second test so far. Good morning, how are you today? You're listening to Talksport. Wow, I mean, Alex, talk to me about this atmosphere right now at the MCG. It's like the Wallabies are feeding off the crowd.
Oh, it's absolutely hopping here. When they went 13 points clear, 2 tries in quick succession, this place was going mad. It literally, the atmosphere is unbelievable, and we are witnessing an unbelievable test match up there. That was one of the best halves I've definitely seen on this tour at the moment, and the Wallabies have turning up physicality-wise. Skelton, Valentini, we said it. They're the 2 players they needed. Wow, have they turned up, and they've really given themselves a chance here. But the Lions, they showed their true class, and I think they've just eked their way back into this half, and it's such a good test match to watch.
Yeah, no, it is. Ben, I mean, what's your thoughts on this? Do you think, looking at the game midweek, that warm-up against the Pacifica in the 15, do you think that's a bit of a blueprint that the Wallabies have taken, that physicality that we said might come in from the Wallabies this test?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it was, rocket science. We all said that that's where they needed to get better from last week in Brisbane, but I think Valentini has been the major difference. Skelton, yes, as well, is carrying, but Valentini has set a platform that then we've seen. Ikitau's been a different player, totally different player, because the first carry from Valentini's been so good, and then we've seen Sualihi and Ikitau both coming into the fore.
We saw Harry Potter as well. Looks like he's pulled up and have a bit of a hamstring injury, so he's gone off. Talk me through, Alex, what that means when it comes to the bench, this 6-2 bench.
Yeah, well, they've got McDermott on the wing here, so he's very quick, don't get me wrong, but strangely the Lions haven't really attacked him in terms of aerial game, in terms of the backfield, but it will change. Obviously Gordon wanting to get that speed of ball, he's going to start getting tired around that 60-70 minutes, so that would be a big, obviously, talking point in terms of how they keep that physical battle. I just don't know if the Wallabies are going to be able to keep this up for the full 80 minutes, because looking at both benches, I think the way the Lions have set up with Owen Farrell on the bench and King Horn, this is going to be coming down to maybe a kick. We've talked about it really could come down to something like that.
Yeah, because the kicking hasn't been exceptional in this first half. Ben Kay, how frustrating would it be for the Wallabies conceding those 2 tries there just before half time?
Yeah, that's a massive blow, isn't it? But I guess Joe Schmidt will be saying, look, we had them rattled, we know exactly how we've got to play, but we can't then sit back on it. You've got to keep going. Now that there are going to be periods in the game where the Lions get a little bit of a purple patch, and vice versa for the Wallabies as well. They've got to ride those out. I think the big thing for the Wallabies and the Lions is staying out of their own red zone, so away from their own try line, because both sides have been exceptional at taking opportunities when they've been in the opposition 22. So I think that kicking game will come into it a little bit more now. Obviously Jorgensen and Sualihi are very good at chasing, but they have got that weakness potentially of Tate McDermott on their own wing, so I think that we might see a little bit more box kicking at the beginning of this for second half.
Yeah, we spoke about the tries there from the Lions. There was 2 Wallabies tries in quick succession. It really got things going for them. That moment from Tom Wright, by the way, the crowd went absolutely crazy, Alex.
Yeah, it was so loud. It was, exactly what we needed. Some sort of magic moments in this game, and we've seen a few. I think Suwali, we saw a little bit of class of him. If he's got any space, he looks so dangerous. And then obviously Tom Wright finishing, but Australia really turned out, like I said, physicality-wise. It's just giving their backs the chance, because we all knew that their backs are dangerous, like Tom Wright. We didn't even see him last week, and he's had probably the moment of the whole tour in one game. So we just want to keep seeing that from both sides. It's some test match. I can't explain how good the atmosphere is here.
And a moment as well, Ben Kay, for Hugh Jones back in as a starter due to Gary Ringrose's concussion concern. Brilliant try from him as well.
Yeah, it was a great finish, and actually a couple of times he has been held up and not made that right decision, and earlier in the tour, and particularly off the back of dropping that. Sometimes when the test's going away from you slightly and you make a mistake, you don't really want to offer yourself, you don't want to make any more mistakes, but he took it as soon as the opportunity was there. He was on the shoulder, took the ball and powered over the line. So really impressive play from Hugh Jones.
Ben Kay, Alex Cuthbert, grab yourself a quick cup of tea at the MCG in Melbourne, watching the second test between the Wallabies and the British and Irish Lions. From one famous cricket ground to another, England are in action against India. It's day 4 of the 4th test, and Guy Swindles is watching for Talksport. Guy.
And it's going very well for England. They're 598 for 8. And the big news is Ben Stokes has completed 100. A magnificent effort of just 164 balls with 9 fours. He becomes the 4th Englishman to take 5 wickets and score 100 in the same test match. Just the 1 wicket to fall this morning, that of Dawson. He was bowled by Bumrah for 26, with one that kept low, which will interest England when they come round to bowl. But the score here, 598 for 8, Stokes on 107, Carse on 14. The lead stands at 240.
Guy Swindles, brilliant stuff. You're listening to the British and Irish Lions against the Wallabies live here in Melbourne, Australia. Here on Talksport, the score currently the Wallabies 23, Lions 17. The series is well and truly on the line. A big second half coming up next here on Talksport. Do not go anywhere.
The Qatar Airways British and Irish Lions Tour of Australia, live on Talksport, with coverage sponsored by Tenor Men. With Tenor Men's unbeatable product lineup, you get the protection you need for the lifestyle you lead.
Subway knows you love a good deal. So say hello to Sub Yay. Deals that will make you go, yay. Like 10% off your whole order, getting a meal deal upgrade, or buy one, get one free on a 6-inch. That's Sub Yay. Get a fresh deal every week exclusively on the Subway app. Subway, 60 years fresher than ever. See the Subway app for specific offer availability and T's and C's. Freshly prepared per order.
Lotto's £11 million jackpot must be won this Saturday, or thousands of you will win a share of the prize. Lotto, play on app. Estimated jackpot. Prizes rounded down to the nearest £1. Rules apply. 18+.
From Lauren James's brothers always cheering her on from the sidelines, to all the kickabouts, knocks and laughs. From making her believe she has what it takes, to a debut, to playing in the final, to...
And Lauren James is named Young Player of the Year.
A little support can change the game. Win the chance to meet Lauren, plus daily football match tickets, Cadbury game-changing wins. Grab a pack to enter.
T's and C's apply. UK and ROI 18+. Visit gamechanging.cadbury.co.uk to enter and for full T's and C's and price details. MPN for ROI.
With a Travis Perkins trade account, you open the door to big trade deals every single month. Right through July, get 10 litres of Armstead Trade Map paint in white or magnolia for only £11 each. Join the club and get this and other big trade deals this July with your trade account. Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. All prices exclude VAT at 20%.
Guess what? There's a summer sale now on at Go Outdoors. I've heard there's mega savings on clothing, footwear, bikes, fishing, riding and tents. I love a bit of camping. I'm going before they sell out. With your membership £5, T's and C's apply. Go Outdoors. Discover freedom!
Listeners, we interrupt the airwaves to share an incredible discovery. The reason why Britain hasn't been so great of late is because the country hasn't been eating enough Weetabix. We must get to work in rebuilding Great Britain, Bix by Bix. By delivering Weetabix to whoever plans the traffic diversions, to delivery drivers who can't seem to find your house, and people who don't stack the dishwasher properly. To Britain, we must say, have you had your Weetabix?
The British and Irish Lions. The Wallabies. 2 giants of rugby. But when the match is over, the question is, Who recovers best? ResMed is the official sleep partner of the Qatar Airways Lions Men's Tour to Australia 2025, helping players and fans tackle sleep like champions. Find out how your sleep stacks up with their free online sleep assessment. Go to resmed.co.uk/tackle your sleep and wait ready for game day.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker.
Summer of hard tackling rugby action. The British and Irish Lions live on Talksport.
Good afternoon to you. You're listening to live and exclusive coverage of the British and Irish Lions versus the Wallabies here at the MCG on Talksport in Melbourne, Australia. The score currently the Wallabies 23, the Lions 17. What a game it's been so far. Don't forget tomorrow evening 5 o'clock the Lionesses versus Spain in the European Championship finals in Switzerland here on Talksport.
Kelly inside the box and she pokes it home off the goalkeeper and in.
Live for these moments as a little girl, so that little girl today enjoyed every moment of that.
Now time for another summer of unforgettable moments.
This is a new moment, and before every tournament you experience a different thing.
And Jimin! 2-2!
That's what we feel when we put the shirt on. It's that we give everything, we run ourselves into the ground.
Holmberg, it's over! England are in the semi-final!
No, we don't make it easy, but we definitely put on a show for everyone watching.
Kelly, save! Kelly there again, it's in! England 2, Italy 1. This is just extraordinary. Tanner, oh, she scored! Berger beaten at her near post! And Tanner finds a way!
I think England, I'd actually prefer to go up against Spain than I would Germany.
But it's the world champions Spain who are one game away from European glory. But England's Lionesses will have something to say about that.
Honestly, I've gone full England for this final. Everybody watches the Lionesses looking to retain the championship tomorrow, live against the world champion Spain, 5 o'clock here on Talksport. We're building up from Box Park, Wembley, with Ollie Klink, Leanne Sanderson and Perry Groves from 4 o'clock and kick off at 5. Good luck to them. We're at the MCG in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. It's a kind of miserable night, but a good old night for rugby. We're going to go pitch side now, but our reporter Alfie Reynolds is there as the teams get ready for the second half. Alfie?
Yeah, the team's going to be coming out in just a moment. The lights are down, the laser and light show happening here. So we're back underway in the second half in just a moment. And what a second half we have coming up here. The Lions need to come from behind in order to win the series. The Wallabies have a lead and they're looking to level things up 1-1. It is raining a little bit. We haven't had the rain that was forecast or we were expecting. It has just started falling a little bit more though. Huge 40 minutes on the way. It's going to be another absolute blockbuster, just like that opening half.
The place is absolutely rocking. Alfie Reynolds, get your poncho at the ready. Thank you very much. Ben Kay watching for Talksport. Ben, what's been missing in your opinion for the Lions in the first half?
The game just didn't go their way early on, so they looked a little bit like rabbits in the headlights. I think a little bit of leadership was lacking. They went very, very quiet, so just wonder how long it is before we see Owen Farrell maybe coming onto the field, not because they need him necessarily from an attacking sense, but if Australia score first and we start to see the second half panning out as the first half did, I'd be very surprised if we didn't see him early on.
Alex Cuthbert, we're just looking at the screens just now, seeing everybody getting ready to come back out for the second half. What will Andy Farrell be saying to the team right now?
Well, I think they've been, in terms of physicality, bad. They've just got matched Wallabies in that front. They just sort of lost their sort of period in that first 20-30 minutes. But I think they know the kicking game. I think McDermott on the wing, they can really target. And I think they're going to slowly eat their way back in the game because I think the bench for the Lions are going to make a massive difference. Like so Jack Morgan coming on, he's not going to give them that speed of ball because he's so good at the breakdown. Obviously Ryan then is another enforcer in terms of the line out options. And obviously Owen Farrell coming on. Whether Owen Farrell comes on at 12, I think he probably will. I think Buliaki sort of seems a little bit slow here. Suali's done him on the inside outside. So just those little subtle changes. But I think they'll be patient. That's what they'll be. And I think they'll just eat their way back into the game.
You predicted that it was going to be a comfortable win for the Lions coming into this game. Are you confident they can come back into it?
Yeah, 100%. And I said I think it'd be pretty tight until the last 5-10 minutes, and that's where the Lions, I think, are going to be the most dangerous. And I think we see here there'll be quite a few changes from Australia. I think they're thinking we've got to try and stay on top as long as we can, because the Lions will work their way back into the game.
OK, you're listening to the British and Irish Lions tour live here on Talksport. It's the Wallabies 23, the Lions at 17. A big second half on the way with former Lions Ben Kay and Alex Cuthbert here on Talksport with our commentator Andrew McKenna.
Thank you, Shaban, as the players come out from the tunnel away to our right-hand side and take to the field. I tell you, in the first half, the Lions made 102 tackles compared to the Wallabies 54. However, the Lions missed 19. Now, missed tackles is a slightly misleading statistic, because a missed tackle isn't always as straightforward as it appears, but that is an interesting number. Now, I'm going to keep my eye. Alfie, actually, let's go down to Alfie Reynolds' pitch side. I'm seeing a couple of potential replacements there for the Wallabies, Alfie.
Yeah, same here, Macca. So we've got Langy Gleeson is on, and we've also had some changes in the front row. I can see Angus Bell, and I think we might have Tom Robertson as well, Macca. So if that's the case, then changes in the front row. We've definitely got Tom Robertson. Yep, I can see him. We've got Langy Gleeson. We've got Angus Bell. So here we go. Changes for the Wallabies in the pack.
So 2 new props, and it's Valentini who's gone off, I think, or is it Harry Wilson? No, Harry Wilson's on the far side as Tom Liner kicks us off in the second half. So it's Rob Valentini. He's made 40 minutes. Langy Gleeson is on for him in the back row as the Lions gather in that kick-off and send it down the left touchline to safety. So Langy Gleeson started the one and only warm-up game for Australia against Fiji, but that was his last rugby. So Valentini is on for him. Angus Bell and Tom Robertson on at prop. Ben Kay is with us here on TalkSport. Your thoughts on those changes at half-time?
Langy Gleeson has got a big act to follow. Valentini was superb in the first half. Had a 75% success rate in terms of his carrying and getting over the gain line. First opportunity for Australia doesn't go to hand.
They've worked it into the middle of the park, and it's the loose prop, Angus Bell, taking it into contact. 24-year-old Waratahs prop, and the Wallabies will go through the forwards again. They're 11 short of halfway, 20 in from the right touchline. They lead by 6. It's 23-17 to the British and Australia against the British and Irish Lions. James Lowe's got underneath that high ball. It's been ricocheting around, and fortunately from a Lions point of view, Harry Wilson has knocked it on, but James Lowe just got too far underneath that one. I turned straight away to Alex Cuthbert as a man who's been in that position. Is that just straight positioning?
No, I think he thought he was going to have a kick to repeat. He probably had a bit more time than he thought, but that's what Ben spoke about earlier, the communication. It seems a little bit quiet, doesn't it? You know, Hugo Keenan could be like, right, it's obviously pretty loud, I'll be honest. It's 95,000 people here screaming, but it's just a simple error, but it's not a great start. You know, it gives field position for Australia, and we spoke about it earlier. Every team that's been in the 22, they've pretty much scored points, so you nullify those opportunities as much as possible.
Scrum to start the second half then. So the Lions is Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan and Tyke Furlong up front. Maro Itoje on Ollie Chesham in behind. Tyburn, Tom Curry, Jack Conan making up the back row of the forwards. Jamison Gibson Park, Finn Russell the halfbacks. Bundy Aki and Hugh Jones the centres. James Lowe the left wing. Tommy Freeman on the right. Tommy Freeman sin-binned in the first half. Hugo Keenan at full back. Wallabies forced into an early change with Harry Potter going off, replaced by Tate McDermott, and have made 3 more changes at the break. Solid scrum for the Wallabies. Taken up the middle by Swahili. Now it's Gleeson. Good tackle on him by Jack Conan, and the Wallabies follow up. It's Harry Wilson, the skipper, did not stay on his feet at the breakdown, came in at the side, and it's a penalty to the Lions on their own 22 centre pitch. Ben Kay.
Yeah, I'm a little bit perplexed by that, because he actually did go off his feet and his angle wasn't great, but Jamison Gibson Park didn't commit to the breakdown, so he backed off, so there was no ruck. So unless someone else has gone into the ruck, I don't know what the decision is there, because he did come in at a bad angle, but Gibson Park never committed to the ruck. So there's no ruck being formed. So I think the Lions have got away with that one slightly, but we won't complain. Sheehan has a throw in on the 10 metre line.
He throws to Chesham. Chesham takes, and it's Tyke Byrne at scrum half, and his pass to Jemison Gibson-Park's gone behind him. Tommy Freeman's going to have to back up 4 or 5 metres to gather in that loose ball. The Lions are a couple inside the Wallabies half, 10 in from the right touchline. Ty Furlong's given carrying duties, and he bounces out of the tackle, stays on his feet, tries to peel his way around. Nothing there. Tyke Byrne picks and goes through the middle. The Wallabies weren't alive to that one, but it's been knocked on the floor by Tyke Byrne.
Yeah, brilliant recovery from Fraser McWright. Excellent carry from Tyke Byrne. Spotted all the Wallabies, just worried about the Lions' wide attack. And he just picked and went himself through the middle. Tried to get his hands free, was a little bit away from his support because he caught the Lions by surprise. Gibson Park going for the offload alongside him was his only support player, and Fraser McWright does a really good job of getting back into position and dislodging the ball, forcing the knock-on.
So it's now Angus Bell, Dave Parecki and Tom Robertson as the front rows for the Australians. Nick Frost and Will Skelton in behind. Langy Gleeson on the blind side. Fraser McWright on the open. Harry Wilson at number 8. Jake Gordon and Tom Lyon at the half-backs. Len Ikitau and Joseph Okuso-Suwali in the centres. Tate McDermott playing on the left wing after Harry Potter was injured. Max Jorgensen on the right. Tom Wright at full-back. And he's watching Tom Liner from the scrum. He's driven it into the Lions 22. Keenan's made a bit of a mess of that one. He's going to have to back up, keeps it on the dance floor, gets back onto the playing surface himself, gathers it in, kicks it down the left touchline, and he's going to be marked by Ben O'Keefe. Let's call it the 10 metre line, Lions side of halfway. That could have been a horrible moment for the Lions. And Keenan, in the end, did pretty well, Ben Kay.
Did brilliantly well, not only to bat the ball back away from the touchline just before it went over, but his recovery to pick up and kick and clear to the 10 metre line got his team out of trouble a little bit.
Frost with the line-out win for the Wallabies. Liner will put it to Ikitau. Finn Russell comes flying out the line to make the tackle on Ikitau. Now Will Skelton will... Well, he didn't like the look of what was to the right-hand side of the pile of body, so he went round the left-hand side, and Harry Wilson will now take it further to the left. Wallabies on halfway. Gordon will go to Swahili. He's tackled by Maro Itoje. 3 phases that have gone along the halfway line, but not over it. Now they make the half break, and it's Angus Bell, the loose head prop, who makes a couple of metres further forward. Tom Wright's going to drop it onto his toe. He goes over the head of James Lowe. James Lowe doesn't play at that one, allows it to go over the sideline. Therefore, the Lions will have the throw in to the line out. But it looks like the Wallabies are trying to exploit something on James Lowe at the moment.
He doesn't look confident, does he? And obviously dropped that first high kick. Having said that, they were forced into the kick. Much better Lions defensive set. The line speed was back. Wallabies not really getting a huge amount of yardage in the carry, which they were doing in the first half.
The Lions do have a natural winger on the bench in Blair Kinghorn. He can play fullback as well, but he can do both supremely well. Maro Itoje with the line-out win. Jack Conan tries to drive it another 4 or 5 metres further forward. Gibson Park will fire it back to Lowe, and his left foot will find the safety of touchdown beneath us. Actually not a million miles away from where Alfie's watching the action. Now, what's happening here? We've got another substitution for you, Alfie.
Yeah, and just having a look here, Macca, it is Will Skelton, whose evening is over. How destructive has he been? And Jeremy Williams is on in his place.
Right, so, Ben Kay, we got to 47 minutes before the Wallabies lost both Valentini and Skelton, to arguably the 2 most significant players of the first half. Now, the Wallabies have tried to go a little funky line out round the front. Unfortunately, Langy Gleeson has lost control of that one and it's gone into touch, so the Lions will have the throw now on their own 22. But just a thought on the 2 players that have made such an impact leading this game at this stage.
Seems predetermined, that, for me, because Skelton didn't look like he was flagging too much, and he did make that last carry really well where he changed sides. I just wonder, because he's got a calf injury that he's coming back from, and he has suffered a lot with calf injuries, I just wonder whether they don't want to take the risk on it going again. Obviously there's this series, which is vitally important, but they also have the Rugby Championship coming up straight after this, so I think that was probably predetermined. Maybe the medics said, look, he's probably got 60 minutes in him, no more, and he's actually come off with 50.
Well, I did have a little conspiracy theory earlier on, because a lot of people were surprised that Ellis Genge was on the bench for this one. I thought they might get 50 minutes out of Skelton, and whoever goes on the tight head lock side is not going to lock out that scrum in the same way, and therefore they could then unleash Ellis Genge to have 30 minutes. And it's very interesting, the Lions subs have all just walked back from where they've been warming up behind the post on the left-hand side, back to the bench. Lions scrum actually goes pretty well. The front rows have popped up. Referee Piardi says, let's do that one again, though.
Porter's devastated. He thought he'd won his team the penalty there. Just popped up slightly too early before the Australians took a backward step. They'll reset. Definitely got the upper hand. Would just let him off the hook slightly, Porter. Just as the weight came on, Robertson, his opposite number, took a step backwards, but then just managed to recover before the scrum popped up.
Tom Robertson, the 30-year-old prop from the Western Force. The first Test match last week was his first Test appearance since the game against Wales in November of 2022. So he's been out of the reckoning. He's very much now back into it. And Andrew Porter was trying to get up and underneath him and into his own hooker. We'll have another go at the scrum. Lions are 5 in from the touchline, just outside their own 22. The pass was slightly behind Finn Russell, but he still manages to get it onto Hugh Jones. Hugh Jones makes another 3 or 4 metres after the initial contact. Lions have gone across the face of the post. Finn Russell right-footed, always put it out on the full down the far side. And that will be a line-out back in line where he kicked it, which is 2 metres outside of the 22. Wallabies going to attack with a line-out left-hand side. Well, that's about the first mistake Finn Russell's made on the entire tour. He just gave it a bit too much, or got the angle wrong, whichever one it was. It's just drifted out of play on the full.
Big line out here for Australia on the 22. Gleeson in midfield.
And it's going to Gleeson. Well, no, actually, he was the decoy. It goes end up to Ikitau. Australia are going to go through Harry Wilson, the skipper. Takes it into a highly traffic area for the Lions. Curry makes the tackle on the edge of the 22. Swahili, as Russell comes flying out. Swahili's taken to ground. Lions are told no hands on that one. Bundiaki's still got his hands on it. Referee's going to call a penalty all day long and twice on this Saturday evening. Opportunity for Fraser McWright. Finds Frost. Numbers are all away to the left-hand side, and that's where they'll go. Liner combines nicely, as does Ikitau through right. It's out to the left-hand side to McDermott. Slips the tackle. Brilliant tap tackle by Maro Itoje to stop him 12 metres out. 5 in from the left-hand touchline. Wallabies recycle. Robertson, the tight end prop, tackled, taken to ground. 15 out. Langy Gleeson runs into Chesham and Sheehan. Ball will be recycled. Ikitau met by Maro Itoje on this occasion. Lions competing at the breakdown, can't turn the ball over. Angus Bell takes it almost static. 3 Lions shirts try and drive him backwards. Fraser McWright will give to Langy Gleeson, does well around the left-hand side, gets a really good offload away, as well does Langy Gleeson. Wallabies are going to go wide out on the left-hand side. Jorgensen's drifted all the way across from the right to the left. Now Harry Wilson. Tyke Furlong with a big tackle on Harry Wilson as Australia rack up the phases here. No advantage from a previous penalty, says referee Andrea Piardi, and we can all get our breath back as Andrea Piardi comes back for the penalty against Bundiaki. It is just outside the 22, 5 metres to the right-hand side of the post. 52 on the watch here on Talksport. The Wallabies lead this game 23 points to 17. You're listening to our coverage, our exclusive coverage on Talksport, sponsored by Tenor Men. Keep control, Ben Kane.
Some good handling in there to create the space on the outside. Tate McDermott's been a revolution on the wing for Australia. As you said, Maro Itoje just got fingertips to him as it looked like he might break free. They come back for the penalty. Definitely the right decision for Tom Liner to take the 3 points that are on offer if he can, and move the game out to more than one score, apply scoreboard pressure to the Lions, make them chase the game. But Australia still look dangerous. Not quite the same punch they had with Valentini and Skelton on in terms of their carrying, but they are getting round the Lions.
Well, Tom Liner steps up and sends the penalty down the middle, so it is a 9-point lead for the Wallabies. His third successful kick. It is Australia 26, British and Irish Lions 17. Alfie Reynolds, I can see replacements on the Lions bench stripping off.
I was just wondering when we might get some changes from the Lions. James Ryan, Ellis Genge, Jack Morgan look like they are all about to be introduced into the action.
Well, the Wallabies have managed to get the ball back, thank you Alfie, and they've made a half break to get up to the edge of the 10-metre line. Looked like for a second it was going to bust wide open, but it didn't. Gordon, tackled well by Itoje in the backfield. Stops him dead, slows down.
What is that?
For the Wallabies. Referee says this is there and playable. Langy Gleeson tips it on nicely to Jeremy Williams, the replacement second row. Wallabies are 12 short of halfway. 15 in from the right touchline. Slow ball. Up it goes from Gordon, down the right-hand side. Will that stay on the playing surface? Jorgensen does well, bats it back infield, and Langy Gleeson picks up the loose ball, gets it to Fraser at right. He's up to the edge of the 22, goes to the left-hand side. Swahili gets absolutely melted by Tom Curry. Ball dislodged, knock on. 26-17 in favour of the Lions. Alfie, changes are happening.
Yeah, James Ryan, Ellis Genge, Jack Morgan, as we just mentioned, are all coming onto the pitch. What an intervention that was from Tom Curry, by the way. It just looked like it was going to break open for the Wallabies. Their bench was on their feet expecting a try. Not to be, and it is Andrew Porter, Ollie Chesham, who are both making their way off, and 7, if I've just heard correctly, on Andrea Piardi's whistle. So Tom Curry's final act was a pretty important one. Porter, Chesham, Curry, all coming off.
Thank you, Alfie.
Crucial from Curry, that. Suoli, he just hesitated for a beat while he looked to who he was going to pass to, and in that moment, Tom Curry worked and got a hand across his right arm, Suoli, his right arm, and he spilt the ball. Without that, I think Australia could well have been troubling the Lions' try line again. Good, huge last intervention from Tom Curry, and now a lot of these Lions faithful very happy to see that number 20 shirt on the field. Big roar as he goes onto the big screen.
There we go.
Tell me there's a lot of Welsh fans in the stadium without telling me there's a lot of Welsh fans in the stadium. Their boy is on the screen. He's had a wow of a tour, in fairness. This is his 6th appearance. He got a try against the Reds. And he's packing down on the open side of this scrum. The Lions on their own 22. Centre of the pitch. Ellis Genge is getting twisted a little bit in that scrum. The Lions have penalty advantage. Gibson Park's going to play it to the left-hand side. Oh, James Lowe had a double clutch at that one. Does manage to get it away to Hugh Jones. Hugh Jones is going to stab it down the left-hand side. Tom Wright will come and gather the ball in. We were playing penalty advantage, so as Australia have it, we will go back for that penalty. 55 and a half on the watch here on Talksport, on a weekend where we've got the World Darts Match play on Talksport 2 and the Lionesses against Spain in the European Championship final. The British and Irish Lions and Australia are playing out a humdinger in the MCG. Darren Gough took a hat-trick here years ago playing for England. I don't think it was as loud that day as it is now. Another change for the Lions, Alfie.
I'm just trying to have a look here, Mackie. You might have spotted something that I haven't seen.
Just Dan Sheehan looked like he was coming off the field, but he was actually just getting a towel to wipe his face with before he throws this dart in.
I tell you what, we do have a change though for the Wallabies. Billy Pollard is on their replacement hooker.
Thank you, Alfie. Now, what Dan Sheehan did was he walked to the sideline, but he knew that what was going to happen was the Lions were going to kick it to the touchline, so he was just getting over there, ready and to go. So it looked like he was walking off, and actually he was just walking to this sideline. So the Wallabies have now got a complete new front row. Bell, Pollard and Robertson. Line-out has been won by James Ryan. Jamison Gibson Park from halfway. He's box kicked, he's got totally underneath that, and it'll actually bounce on the field of play. Everyone left it, and it goes into touch about 6 metres in front of where he kicked it.
Gibson Park was under huge pressure there. Line out was won. that no one blocked the Australians coming through, and the charge down attempt just made him need the trajectory to get it over the top, and he skied it. Wallabies have good attacking position here.
Pollard throws and finds Jeremy Williams. Good line-out drill for them. Fraser McRae gives to Langy Gleeson. Wallabies are 10 short of halfway.
Use that!
Slow ball for Gordon. He will put it up into the air. Underneath it is James Lowe. He waits for it to come down, comes into his arms. Harry Wilson runs past the Lions left winger, and James Lowe is able to take to 10 short of halfway.
Drop in there, stop now!
Gibson Park fishing for the ball, finds it. Ellis Genge will take it towards contact, but he's tipping it on. It goes Finn Russell. Bundy Aki makes the break, up and over halfway to the 10-metre line, Australia's side of halfway. Tries to keep the ball alive. Wallabies have slowed it down. It turns into a ruck. Ellis Genge won't tip this one on. He's taken it into contact down the centre of the pitch. Gibson Park looking to the right-hand side. James Ryan. Powerful carry from him. McWright puts him to floor. Lions are going to go to the right-hand side. Freeman combines with Hugh Jones. Stationed out on the right wing is Dan Sheehan, but the Lions are coming back towards the middle. Ellis Genge with the half break. The Wallaby tackler Gleeson slipped, and Genge was alert enough to say, hang on a minute, I'm going to step back inside. Lions come across the face of the post. Into the 22. 20 in from the left-hand touchline. Here's Genge once again. Hugo Keedon just feeding the Bristol and England prop. Gibson Park tries to step around Tom Wright. He's not going to go in on that occasion. Maro Itoje will pick and go. Lions are 10, 12 metres out, just to the left of the post. James Ryan is a solo carrier on that occasion, needs support. Tommy Freeman, the right winger, picks and goes around the edge of the pile of bodies. Lions are 8 metres out. Ball to the left-hand side to James Lowe. Tyburn outside him. Tyburn for the corner, gets there. Tyburn gets the second try from the back row this evening. Tom Curry got one. Tyburn gets one. Well, anyone who thought they were controversial selections for the test matches, have a think again. They were brilliant last week, and Byrne and Curry crossed the whitewash this evening. It's a 4-point game with the conversion to come. Australia 26, British and Irish Lions 22.
Well, Aki makes the initial break to give them the field position, but James Lowe, parts of his game haven't been great tonight, but his offloading has been superb, and he creates the try for Tyburn. Stands up Lenny Catal, forces Jorgensen to step in from his wing and offloads out the back door as soon as he's committed the winger, and that gives Byrne a sniff of getting in the corner. Still took some finishing, but Byrne dives in, and now Finn Russell from right on the touchline adds the 2.
2-point game. 20 minutes to play. 1 quarter to go. Now the question, there's more changes. Alfie Reynolds.
Yeah, a couple of changes for the Lions. Owen Farrell and Blair Kinghorn have come on. It's James Lowe and Hugh Jones that have departed, and for the Wallabies, Carlo Tozzano is on in their back row.
Thank you, Alfie. Interesting that Owen Farrell comes on for Hugh Jones. So it's Bundy Aki and Owen Farrell, two sort of big bustling centres. Right. Strap yourselves in, folks. This is going to be fun. 20 minutes to play here on Talksport. The British and Irish Lions exclusively live, as they have been for the last 12 years. Looking to go 2-0 up in the series. Last 3 times they've won the first test, they've lost the second. Well, they were 23-5 down on the half an hour mark. It's 26-24 as we hit the hour. Game very much on. Wallabies have a line out. 5 inside the Lions half right hand side. Works into midfield by Len Ikitau. Len Ikitau has the ball, but he's driven backwards by Bundy Aki. Slow ball for Gordon. Bell acts as the link man to Liner, to Tom Wright, out to the right hand side to Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson bumps off Owen Farrell. Makes only a couple of metres though as the Lions swarm around and will make the tackle. Ellis Genge in with another. This is the Wallabies on halfway. Swalihi passes the ball to the inside. Lange Gleeson will take it up the middle of the pitch. And the Lions win a turnover penalty. It was Gleeson taking it into contact. There were about 3 red shirts around it and he doesn't release. Lions have a choice to make, bang on halfway. They trail by 2, Ben Kay.
Well, they're going for the corner and field position. They're feeling that maybe the Wallabies on the ropes. It's a brilliant turnover from Maro Itoje. They spread back to the middle. Gleeson makes a bit of yardage, but Itoje so good in that low position despite having to reach a long way forward. They miss him with the clear out. He wins the penalty, and now the Lions 5 out from the Wallabies line.
And it's a brilliant kick as well, by the way, to be 5 out from the Wallabies line. Right, it's a slow walk into the line out. They've established the call. Sheehan will throw. Conan is at the front. It's off the top though to Gibson Park. Here comes Bundy Aki. British and Irish Lions are 6 metres out from the try line. They scored 4 tries this evening. Jamison Gibson Park comes to the left-hand side. Jack Conan with a strong carry. Gets to within 3 metres. Doesn't go to Tyburn. Goes to James Ryan. He's upended a metre short of the line and he's fell the wrong way. He wasn't able to place it back and the Wallabies got in on the ball. Tizano gets on it. Turnover penalty.
What an impact from Tizano. Itoje, Byrne both complaining. But the shot from Ryan was really good from young Tom Liner. And Tizano first on, as he got rolled onto his back, showed a genuine effort to rip the ball out, and the referee rewards him with a penalty.
Jack Conan just a little bit slow getting back to his feet, which would be a minor issue for the Lions, because the only forwards that they've got left on the bench are front rowers. Now, the Wallabies have missed touch, and Blair Kinghorn has got it 10 short of halfway, has given it to Hugo Keenan, who puts it up into the night sky. Lions go up and contest that. They've knocked it on in the process. It was Blair Kinghorn going for the ball. It'll be a scrum to the Wallabies. 10 outside of their own 22, just right of centre.
Just feel from a Wallabies perspective, they need a bit of field position now. They're trying to run everything from the middle third of the field inside their own half. And actually, the Lions, every time they get down there, look dangerous. I think the Wallabies need that field position just to take a bit of pressure off. The Lions haven't really looked like going the length of the field. They are very dangerous attacking in the opposition half.
Well, I mentioned that the Lions only had front row replacements left on the bench. They don't anymore, Alfie.
Ronan Kelleher and Will Stewart on. Tyke Furlong and Dan Sheehan have just come off.
So Ellis Genge, Ronan Kelleher and Will Stewart, the new front row for the Lions. Just means that Alex Mitchell is the unused replacement from a Lions point of view. Ben Donaldson, the other unused man from the Wallabies, with Carlo Tizano having come on into the back row. Wallabies from the scrum. Oh, they're going to make a half break here. They're on their own 10-metre line. But they just make that half break. 8 short of halfway is Nick Frost. Good game actually, Nick Frost. He's done some very good carrying. It's slow ball. It's going to go up from Gordon down the left-hand side. Is that going to drift out on the Fulham far side? No. The Lions have contested that through Tommy Freeman, and he's managed to keep it on the dance floor, and Jeremy Williams will pick up the loose ball. Australia have it back on halfway. 10 in from the left touchline. Tizano. I'm sure there's an awful lot of people in Ealing, West London, with mixed feelings at the moment. No. Carlo Tizano spent a very happy time with the Ealing Trailfinders in the Championship. Here he is playing for Australia against the British and Irish Lions. Gordon's going to put this one up into the air. It's going to land just outside of the 22, and the Wallabies get a great timing on the shot on Hugo Keenan. Lions are going to have to back up, get and support their mates. Infield it goes to Finn Russell, right-footed from in his own 22. He's going to drive it down the middle of the pitch. Tom Liner will take. Passes to the right-hand side to Tom Wright. Crosses the 10-metre line. Crosses the halfway. Gives to Jorgensen, the right winger. Out on the right touchline. Stabs it down the right-hand side. Jamison Gibson Park comes across. Gets the ball 5 metres out from the Lions' try line. Lions have got there quickly. There's more red shirts than yellow. They've diffused that situation, but they now need to exit cleanly. No mistakes. 5 out from your own line. It's Ronan Kelleher with the carry. 5 out from the try line. 10 in from the left touch. Gibson Park will take as much time as he legally can. Gets it back to the back foot of the ruck and clears right-footed, finding the safety of the touchline. Australia 26, British and Irish Lions 24, 66 played. You're listening to the series exclusively live on Talksport. These are the thoughts of 2005 Lion Ben Catt.
Well, there aren't many better broken field runners than Tom Wright. Takes on Tyburn, takes on Owen Farrell, forces Blair Kinghorn to step in and then offloads to Jorgensen, who puts the kick through.
Lineout has been thrown over the top directly to Langy Gleeson. Harry Wilson took it into contact but then spun and had his back to the Lions players as they came in and walloped him to the ground. Wilson's got back to his feet and there he is carrying again. He's just been walloped again by Ronan Kelleher. Carlo Tizzano with the carry, tackled by Will Stewart. Wallabies are just outside the Lions 22, 15 in from the right touchline, and there's a forward pass has been called in to the referee Andrea Biardi. I think from Ben O'Keefe, the assistant, this near side. Whatever it is, the Lions will take it. Their scrum.
The Lions' line speed so much better. The defence has gone up 2 or 3 notches since some of those reserves have come on. Will Stewart and Ellis Genge leading that line speed there, forcing the forward pass. Gordon hesitated for a fraction of a second. Big scrum here from the Lions. They could relieve a lot of pressure if that new front row, Stewart, Genge, Kelleher, if they can win their team a penalty, it'll give them a massive lift, give them field position, because at the moment Australia have them just where they want them, on the outside of the Lions 22.
Coach!
The Lions are set up in an attacking formation with Russell, Farrell, Aki and Keenan all in a diamond, but they're not going to need that. A penalty is given. One of the backroom staff from the Wallabies, who's in a water bib, just throws a water bottle down on the ground. The penalty given for that scrum, I can't tell you who it is from this distance because he's got his back to us, but he was absolutely filthy about that scrum decision.
It's a massive moment. Now Finn Russell kicks the ball over the 50-metre line. It's the knee on this side. Ellis Genge just maybe winning, just not conning the referee, but just conning his opposite number, thinking that he's going to attack him and then taking the power off, and a little bit long-legged from the Wallaby replacement tight head, Tom Robertson, and he couldn't maintain his balance, gives away the penalty. Lions back on the attack.
Yeah, Robertson's knee went down, as did Ellis Genge's elbow, so it was a case of which was first as far as the officials were concerned. They go in favour of the Lions, and they've claimed the line-outs. They're going to try and maul it forward. Jamison Gibson Park will play it infield. Owen Farrell at first receiver, looping around his Finn Russell. They go to the right-hand side. They've used this move a lot. Blair Kinghorn gliding his way through. Oh, he's got to the edge of the 22. There's a brilliant tap tackle on Blair Kinghorn. Lions will have to recycle. Tyburn in is taking it into contact. Lions, centre of the pitch. Here's Ellis Genge. The baby rhino is at it once again. Gibson Park to the right-hand side. Ducks underneath the tackle. Maybe could, should have given it. Will Stewart will pick and go from the edge of the pile of bodies. The Lions are bang in front of the post. They give away a penalty, though, for crawling on the floor. I tell you what, we're in a cricket stadium. Let's go to one. Get a quick update from the Test match with Guy Swindles.
England all out for 669 in their first innings. That's a lead of 311. Last man out, Carser, for a fine 47 caught on the boundary. But Stokes, the hero, 141 for him after 2 years without a Test century.
Thank you, Guy. Hundreds for Ben Stokes, Joe Root, what we would give for centuries this winter when they come back to this very stadium. In ashes, Blair Kinghorn, though, gliding around the outside bandit for just a second. It looked like it was opening up.
It was a brilliant carry. Stood up Joseph Suaalii and just glided around him, but that penalty very costly for the Lions into the last 10 minutes. Australia have possession. They need to get the ball back from this more. I think it could be a turnover for the Lions.
Well, it is a turnover. I was about to say, at best it's going to be very, very slow ball, but it doesn't come out, and it will be a put into the scrum for the Lions. 15 inside the Wallabies half, 5 in from the left touchline. Australia 26, British and Irish Lions 24. Our exclusive coverage here on Talksport is sponsored by Tenor Men. You can find out more at tenormen.co.uk. Alex Cuthbert, you were doing this 12 years ago. How's the ticker at the moment?
It's going to be for Australia. This last 10 minutes is going to feel a lifetime. The Lions are slowly getting into the game. I can just feel the momentum shifting in their way. Whether it's set piece, there's silly ill discipline, with the last penalty then in the 22. But I can just feel in the stadium as well. I can just feel that they're going to get on top. They're going to have an opportunity to go ahead, where it is 3 points or a try. They're very, very close. The Wallabies are hanging on here, I think.
Coach!
All I'll say is at the end of the kicking practice yesterday, Owen Farrell did practice about 7 or 8 drop goals. Hashtag just saying. Scrum to the Lions. Jamison Gibson Park puts it in. Now the front rows go to ground, and to be honest, it was a bit of a mess, and Andrea Biardi takes, well, not the easy option, but maybe the straightforward option, said we'll simply just do that one again.
Ellis Genge flipped over the back of Tom Robertson there and ended up lying on the prone Australian tight head, who's lying on the floor. Ellis Genge was lying facing upwards on his back. And I think, having maybe been slightly fortunate on the last one, Ellis Genge was very unlucky not to be rewarded with the penalty on that one.
Alfie Reynolds is pitch ciphers. Alfie, the crowd seemed to have just notched it up a couple of decibels in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, if that was possible. It's been so loud in here all night. 7 minutes to go, 2-point game, series on the line. Who's going to get that crucial score?
Well, we've had another go at that scrum, and that's still not worked, and the clock is ticking away. 6.5 to play will be a slight concern. I'm just having a quick look at some of the stats. Jack Conan and Maro Itoje are both over 20 tackles this evening. Conan 24, Itoje 20. And knowing how the stats are, generally speaking, about 30 seconds or so behind, there might be a couple more. Hang on, what's happening here? Will Stewart's having to jog over to the touchline, and he's swapping boots with Ty Furlong. So presumably a lace has gone, or his boot has split. Alfie, I've never seen that before.
No, me neither. So they're just swapping the left boot. So either the laces, I was going to say it could be the studs, but if they're only swapping one, then maybe it's something more to do with the boot itself. So Will Stewart just putting this on, and we'll have this scrum underway in just a moment.
Rugby's version of Cinderella. The good news is it fits everybody. What are the odds that they take the same size boots? I mean, that is quite freakish. Right, so Will Stewart is now reshot.
Close enough.
Well, yeah.
Close enough hoof size.
Yes. I have the official crowd this evening, by the way. We thought it was over 90,000. It is indeed 90,307. The biggest crowd the British and Irish Lions have played in front of. Wow. I don't know whose idea this was. It's paid off. It has paid off, and we've had a game fitting the occasion. There's 6 minutes to play. It's all to play for. Australia lead by 2 in a game they have to win to keep the series alive. Well, of course, if they draw it, it's still alive. Let's go back to 2017. Right, the Lions have won a free kick at the scrum because Australia have gone through the mark too early. Jack Conan has tapped and gone. He's got to within 3 metres of the 22. Comes to the left-hand side. Will Stewart, in differing boots, takes it to the edge of the 22. Ty Byrne gets through the tackle of Harry Wilson to the edge of the 22. Across to the right-hand side they go. Finn Russell's pass is slightly behind Bundy Aki. He does well to put the brakes on and pull it back in. Gibson Park to the right-hand side. Russell. Australia were up quickly outside the right-hand side, so Russell had to come back in. Bundy Aki is slow getting up. He's got cramp. The Lions have knocked it on as well, so it's a scrum down to Australia.
The second time Aki's gone down with cramp, and he's really struggling with it. He can't clear it on his own. The medics are coming on now, but obviously no one on the bench to replace him. He's going to have to soldier on through it.
No, Alex Mitchell's still not been used. So Mitchell would go to the wing, I assume, and Tommy Freeman would come into the centre. Well, that is the one advantage that the Lions have over Australia at the moment.
That Mitchell is just coming to the sideline from the warm-up area, and he's stripping off.
The man who's been the Iron Man this tour, he's been named in every squad. He just didn't come on in one of the games. But he's just doing a few little warm-up touches to get himself ready. They are going to leave it for a moment, so they're not going to make an immediate change. There are just over 4 minutes to play. How's this for your Saturday morning, folks? Game on the line.
Set! Keep it up!
Can we start the weekend off with a win for the British and Irish Lions? Ball goes into the scrum for the Wallabies. Tom Liner drills it down the right-hand side. It will stay on the playing surface. Keenan takes 10 outside of his own 22. Puts it up into the air. Tommy Freeman is going to go herring after that one. Tom Liner's underneath it. Freeman hits him as he comes to the ground perfectly. Lions try and get over the ball. And Gibson Park tries to go in. He's told not to by the referee, Andrea Piatti. He backs away.
Use it.
Wallabies are not going to do anything quickly here. And it's Angus Bell, who's just stationary on the edge of the 22. He's just sacrificing himself to set up another phase. There's 3 minutes 15 seconds. It's a long time to run out of clock doing very little. They're going to kick it down the right-hand side. Wallabies, it's out of play. Lions line out, bang on halfway. Left-hand side from a Lions point of view. Ben Kay.
Well, it's getting close, isn't it, to last chance saloon for the Lions. Just that 2-point cushion. The Wallabies trying to get that field position to stay out of range of a penalty, to stay out of range of a drop goal. Lions don't need to panic yet, but they have to get into position to challenge Australia into not giving away a penalty.
Maro Itoje wins the line out, straight off the top into the middle. He goes, Owen Farrell is looping around. Blair Kinghorn out to the right-hand side to Tommy Freeman. He's over halfway, he's over the 10-metre line. Makes another 4 or 5 metres. Tackled 10 in from the right touchline. Recycled by the Lions. Finn Russell finds Will Stewart. His pass goes to Owen Farrell on the bounce. Tyke Byrne does a good job. Gordon grabs hold of his shirt really and just pulls him to the floor of the scrum half on the Lions blind side. Lions are backed up. They're on the 10-metre line, Wallabies side of halfway. Bundy Aki, well, he might have cramp, he might not. You can't tell with him. He's just going to power it through as best he can at the moment. Lions to the right-hand side. Kinghorn, Jack Morgan with the carry. Lions have made another couple of metres. Clock is ticking, 2 minutes to play. Ellis Genge on this occasion. Wallabies just manning the defences as best they can. Will Stewart straight down the middle. First tackle's not made. He's not held in the second either. He's on the edge of the 22 and he's finally taken to ground. Jamison Gibson Park to the left-hand side. Quick ball out to Tyke Byrne. Scored one already this evening. 14 metres out when he's tackled. Ball will be recycled by the Lions. Infield they go to Maro Itoje. The Lions skipper, 15 in from the left touchline. Finn Russell, middle of the park, got numbers out to the right-hand side. Gets the offload away. Blair Kinghorn out to the right-hand side. Tackle 5 short. Lions pick and go surely here. Jamison Gibson Park gives to Tyke Byrne. Tyke Byrne 5 metres out. 10 to the right of the post. Finn Russell's going to come across the face of them. Slips slightly, he's looking for an offload, gives to James Ryan. James Ryan manages to slip through one tackle. The Lions bang in front of the sticks, 5 metres out. Hugo Keenan to the left-hand side to win it! Hugo Keenan scores the try! 50 seconds to go! The British and Irish Lions lead for the first time this evening in the final minute of the game. The Wallabies players are hands on head, kneeling on the floor. They cannot believe it. Harry Wilson has just come racing up to Andrea Piatti. He's screaming for something to be checked.
It's the clear out. There's a clear out in there.
You need to speak with Ben.
They want the TMO to check it. They're desperate. The Lions. Brilliant control. It was James Ryan who straightened up, and it's Jack Morgan. I don't think there's anything in that. It's Tizano that's claiming he was cleared out illegally. That's a pretty good clear out for me. He's hinged in a jackal position. I would be very surprised if this wasn't seen as a legal clear. It's whether he wraps his arms that will be the big issue. If he doesn't wrap his arms, this will go against the Lions.
Well, Eric Gozan, you're about to be the most popular or least popular man in the northern or southern hemispheres. He is our TMO. He is going to make this decision. Harry Wilson is still badgering the officials to the extent that Nika Ramashikeli has to come in and usher him away. Now, Tiziano has got a wide base and has got his head right over the floor as Morgan tries to clear him out.
The problem for Morgan here is he has to wrap. He makes an attempt to wrap, but the arm drops down. So it's whether the referee thinks he's genuinely trying to.
Right.
I think he is.
Let's listen into the officials.
Player is wrapping. We don't see any full play. Try stand.
Try stands. The British and Irish Lions players are bouncing up and down in the middle of the park. They've still got to take the conversion. And, by the way, restart the game. There's 23 seconds left on the clock.
Finn Russell's going to wait till the clock starts again, then ask how much is left on the shot clock.
The clock is ticking. There are 10 seconds to play. Finn Russell is 5 metres in from the left touchline, just outside of the 22. The clock gets to 80 minutes. The hooter will sound shortly. Finn Russell steps up, strikes it right-footed. It goes wide of the left-hand post. It doesn't matter. The British and Irish Lions have won their first series in 12 years. They are 2-0 up with 1 to play, thanks to a 29-26 victory in the MCG. A comeback for the ages. 23-5 down at half-time. Sorry, at 30 minutes. The Wallabies added only 3 more points after that. Dan Sheehan with a try in the first half. Tom Curry, Hugh Jones, Tyke Byrne, and the man of the moment, Hugo Keenan, with the winning score at the end. British and Irish Lions have won back-to-back games and have a chance of a sweep next week in Sydney. But the Tom Richards Trophy will be coming back with them on the flight, no matter what happens. Series winners, Australia 26, British and Irish Lions 29.
Wow. Andrew McKenna, former Lions Ben Kay and Alex Cuthbert. What an incredible test game that was. The Lions have done it. They won the first series in 12 years' time in maybe the most dramatic circumstances. Live for you here on Talksport. Do not go anywhere. Coming up next, we're going to unpack that whole game with Ben Kay and Alex Cuthbert and how the Lions have won in that outstanding fashion. We're going to get the reaction from the players as well, pitchside, plus the Wallabies all-time record try scorer David Campese, I am sure will not be sitting on the fence. Lots coming up. We'll unpack this historic night in Melbourne on Talksport next.
The Qatar Airways British and Irish Lions Tour of Australia, live on Talksport, with coverage sponsored by Tenor Men. With Tenor Men's unbeatable product lineup, you get the protection you need for the lifestyle you lead.
Capture every memory this summer with iPhone 16 Pro Max. From golden hour selfies to spontaneous beach days, its advanced camera turns every moment with friends into something unforgettable. And now, in the Vodafone summer sale, you can save up to a massive £588 when you trade in an eligible iPhone. Hurry, ends 5th of August. So go online or in-store today. Vodafone.
Save £252 on a limited max over 36 months and £336 trade-in. Total phone cost £1,184. Eligibility, credit and trade-in checks and terms apply. Financed by Vodafone.
Staying in can be fun, but let's be honest, getting out into the world can be even more fun. That's why at FlixBus we want you to experience a world with less scrolling through websites, more strolling through iconic sites, less uncomfortably expensive train tickets, more comfy and affordable coach rides, less takeaways on the sofa, more getaways with your mates. That does sound more fun, doesn't it? Book affordable coach tickets to over 70 UK destinations on flixbus.co.uk or download the app now. More life in real life. Flixbus.
Lotto's £11 million jackpot must be won this Saturday, or thousands of you will win a share of the prize. Lotto, play on app. Estimated jackpot, prizes rounded down to the nearest £1. Rules apply, 18+.
Drivers, join me on this. Many UK drivers are owed significant money, an estimated £30 billion. If you bought a car on finance between 2015 and 2021, you could claim an average of over £5,000, with some claims exceeding £10,000 per vehicle. 2 million claims have already been submitted with Finance Claims Expert, and it takes you 60 seconds to check if you could qualify. Text SPEED to 88440 now. That's SPEED to 88440 now. Claims can be made for free via the Financial Ombudsman.
From Leah Williamson watching every game with her grandma, to motivating pre-match footy chats over a cuppa, from hugs and you can do it, to getting scouted, from a debut, to a first cap, to captaincy, to...
And Leah Williamson lifts the trophy.
A little support can change the game. Win the chance to meet Leah, plus daily football match tickets, Cadbury game-changing wins. Grab a pack to enter.
T's and C's apply. UK and ROI 18+. Visit gamechanging.cadbury.co.uk to enter and for full T's and C's and price details. MPN for ROI.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker.
Get ready to touch and engage. The British and Irish Lions live on Talksport.
Wow, what a day. You're listening to Talksport and a mega weekend of live sport. If you have just joined us, congratulations. The British and Irish Lions have just won the series 2-0 in the most incredible fashion, and a wonderful try from Hugo Keenan. We're going to go pitch side now. Alfie Reynolds, who have you got?
I'm with the man that scored the winning try. Hugo, many congratulations. You have just scored the try that has won this series for the Lions. Try and sum it up for me.
Yeah, it's a bit surreal, like to hear this crowd in this stadium, for it to go down to the wire, for us to not get the performance we wanted, but to show the character to come back, to play that many phases, the last couple of minutes to hold on to the ball, and I suppose trust ourselves is unbelievable. It's been an unbelievable group. Unbelievable set of players, coaches, backroom staff, and yeah, we're absolutely chuffed that we can do it for not only the 23 today, but the wider squad, the management, everyone, and the 50,000 Lions supporters and everyone back home. It's unbelievably special. You knew the Wallabies would throw everything at you. They did that. How did you turn that game around? Yeah, they absolutely did. They came out firing. We had a bit of a purple patch they capitalised on, or they did, and they capitalised on our yellow card, and that's the quality of side they are. But we never gave up. We dug deep, and yeah, credit to the lads. Just finally, very quickly, what an occasion this was at the MCG. Yeah, it's an unbelievable stadium. It's so cool. Walking out is, I think it's probably my favourite stadium in the world after this. Yeah. Congrats, mate. Enjoy it. Cheers.
Alfie Reynolds alongside Hugo Keenan here on Talksport. The man, the legend who scores that winning try with 50 seconds left on the clock there for the Lions to get the job done, which left the score Australia 26, Lions 29, which means they have won the series 2-0. Watching for us, former Lions Ben Kay and Alex Cuthbert have been with our commentator Andrew McKenna. Ben, starting with you, I mean, wow, I mean, the drama towards the end of that, it was nearly in the balance.
Yeah, it was. And look, one of the things we've always said about Andy Farrell as a coach is how he imparts belief in his team. And, you know, just being in, I've been in and around the hotel, the players' hotel, and there's just been an element of that belief amongst themselves. And they had to really dig deep to find it today. And to pull, you know, great teams are able to pull out those winning moments. And you think back to Man United winning the Champions League in the last minute. That's the sort of thing that great teams that believe in what they're doing and what they are as a group can find in the darkest moments.
Absolutely. Alex, you've been part of a team that have done that as well, especially with Andy Farrell there in the room. I mean, they got the job done despite not playing their best rugby.
No, it wasn't their best, but I think you've got to give credit to Australia. I thought they really came out their Lions that first half. They showed some unbelievable stuff, some great tries. Like we spoke about, with the two players coming back in, they made a massive difference. But we spoke about before the game, how long would they have lasted? And they lasted 47 minutes, I think, max. And in the end, I think that is what sort of probably ended up getting the loss from, really, in terms of how the Lions just stayed in it, the belief they had, the quality that came off the bench, like Sir Kinghorn. He made a big difference, the front row. And Hugo Keenan now is an absolute hero. That video of him scoring that try, I'll tell you that, he'll be sent that every single day now for the next couple of years. So, yeah, it's an unbelievable achievement for those lads and Lions, because it's a long slog. It's a long couple of weeks altogether. And, they're definitely going to deserve it and have probably a good night tonight, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, and they absolutely deserve that. Ben Kay, talk to me about the difference in the Lions side this week compared to last Saturday.
Well, they came across a better side, so they didn't have it all their own way, and they made a couple of mistakes, but that happens when you're under pressure. I thought on the whole there were some big moments in the game on both sides, but like the Tom Curry tackle on Suolihi when he could have been away just before he comes off is a massive moment in the game. So it might not have been the free-flowing attractive, but they had to go and score tries, the Lions, to get themselves back in from that big deficit. The defence wasn't as good, particularly early on, but they found a way to get the job done, and you can't ask any more than that.
Absolutely. I mean, next stop will be to try and go invincible down under. I mean, it was huge performances tonight from Captain Maro Itoje, Jack Conan, absolutely brilliant, weren't they, Alex?
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, I think Tom Curry, to be fair, I thought was pretty solid that first 50. He made an awful lot of tackles. Maro Itoje, I think he was 20 plus tackles. Ty Burn obviously got another try. He was pretty industrious on there. But the bench, I think, made a big difference to the front row. Jack Morgan, I thought Ryan came in, and obviously Kinghorn, I think he looked really sharp when he come on, and it was hard to change any team probably from this winning team, but I'm sure there'll be a few changes, some sore bodies, but yeah, it's 2-0, and obviously they want to go 3-0, but mentally it's really, really tough. Obviously we're already the series in the bag, and Australia, if they show up in any way again like this, mentally and physically, it's going to be a tough game as well again next week.
Absolutely. We're going to get the thoughts of record try scorer for the Wallabies, David Campese, very, very soon. Just you mentioned Jack Morgan there, Alex. I mean, from the patriotic point of view of a Welshman, how important is it to have him on this team, considering now they've wrapped up the series?
Yeah, it's huge. It is massive. We spoke about earlier, I was so glad to see him get on. He's got the whole nation on his back. One player in a squad of 44 players, one Welsh player. I don't think we've ever really seen that from I guess a Welsh player in a long period of time. And obviously a bit controversial at the end when they were looking at the video. My heart was in my, it was touch and go whether that was going to be a penalty. He could have gone hero to villain, but luckily he's on the right end of it. And it's so good to see him get on and see them all celebrating there with their family. This is exactly what it means.
Absolutely. Ben Kay, can we talk about Ellis Genge as well? He was on absolutely everything today.
Yeah, he was. He did exactly what was required of him and bring that energy when they needed it most. In fact, that you asked me the difference between the Lions last week and this week. Actually, from a positive perspective, the bench all made a huge difference when they came on, and they were required to. Last week they weren't required to, and actually we were a little bit disappointed with the bench. This week they were sensational, and Ellis Genge right at the forefront of that with his scrummaging, which won the penalties, gave them field position, but also what you expect from him, his big ball carrying was outstanding as well. So although he didn't start, and some might say he'd be disappointed he was dropped, the game's changed. It's a 23-man game, and he did his job perfectly today coming off the bench.
Looking at the head coach Andy Farrell here on the screen, big smiles, looking at the players making their way around the MCG to greet their family and their friends. They're signing shirts, they're signing fans' faces. The elation alongside this Lions squad just now is absolutely magic. They've defeated the Aussies 26. They finished up, and the Lions managed to make it 29 in the dying moments of the game. It was the first time they took the lead in the second test. It was very dramatic. Pleased to say that former Wallaby player and their all-time record try scorer David Campese joins us now. David, commiserations to you. How are you feeling?
Well, I did say by 3 points. Did I say which team was going to win? No, look, I think if you look at the game, what the boys said, it's two halves. Yeah. Skelton goes off, a lot of power. They bring the other guys on who they did step up, but you haven't got the power of Skelton and the runners, and that upset the Lions in the first 30 minutes. They didn't see any ball. But in the second half, it was a different story. Rugby's about 2 halves, about 80 minutes. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And, you just saw the dominance. The Lions just didn't stop. They kept on going. And they made the most of, the possession in the second half as well. I remember the first half, they were down to 14 men. And that's where the Wallabies dominated a bit. But in the second half, I think the players that came on for the Wallabies, they didn't really add much injection into the team. And I think that's what happens in big games. I thought that maybe having a 6-2 split on the bench would have been a bit tough, and we saw that tonight. I would have actually brought Donaldson on at 10, put Lynott at 12, and put Suwali on the wing, because then you could still have Tate McDermott come on in the second, and he would have livened up a bit. But again, I'm not the coach, so look, I think the Lions demonstrated they had a lot of heart tonight. They played, they actually wanted it more than the Wallabies, and good congratulations. It was a fantastic game in front of 90,000 people at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, so it was fantastic to watch.
Looking at the changes that they made, Campo, Valentini got to half-time and Will Skelton got to about 55 minutes. If they could have got maybe 5-10 minutes more out of them, the pair of them, that's potentially the game, isn't it?
This is a professional. You should be going to 80 minutes. I know they're injured, but again, we haven't had the warm-up to prepare for big games like this for 80 minutes, and I think that today it was just a demonstration of, the guys turn up. Valentine was good, but really you want them towards the end to finish, and that's what the impact players are supposed to do when they come on, and unfortunately we didn't have the players to do that.
A word about Harry Wilson, because he's actually being appointed as captain on a short-term basis each time. Joe Schmidt was actually asked this week, was his performance in Brisbane enough to get him the job long-term? I thought he showed up really well this evening, was involved a lot. Is he the long-term captain for the Wallabies?
Well, you've got to make a decision. He's played very well in the whole Super Rugby season, and you can see he's a good leader. But the problem is, at the moment, we don't know next week who's going to turn up, play 9, who's going to play 10, and sometimes the players get disillusioned with that, because you need, tonight, what the Lions did towards it, they actually had their combinations working really well, and we didn't. We brought guys on that had played together before, and that makes a bit of a dent when you're under pressure, and you need that the consistency, and we didn't really get it towards the end.
Campo, I'll just ask you about the Hugo Keenan win and try. I mean, the TMOs really had a good look at that. There was a moment we thought it was maybe going to be ruled off. What did you make of that incident?
Well, look, the clean out at a ruck, I mean you can have 10 referees look at it and you'll get 10 different decisions. He went in with his arms, and that's all you have to do. He didn't shoulder charge. And for me it was legit. And I'm a winger, so I've got no idea what I'm talking about, really. And I just said, look, to me it looked all right, but there's always controversy in rugby now. They always go back and look at little things, and a bit of drama towards the end, but I think that it was a perfect clean-out. And, it was young, the young Morgan, the Welshman, and so it would have been devastating if it went the other way, coming on with only a couple of minutes. So, look, I mean, it was a great... the Lions played well. They deserved it towards the end. The Wallabies just lost a bit of spark, and you got Suwali in that. They didn't really get much ball because the Lions in the second half sort of dominated. So what the Wallabies did to the Lions in the first half, the Lions did that to the Wallabies in the second half, and that's rugby.
You said pre-game that you wanted to be entertained by the Wallabies, were you?
I was in the first half, again, because the Wallabies down to 14, but you can see how the Wallabies...
Stay there for me, Campbell, stay there, hold that thought. Alfie Reynolds is pitch side with Finn Russell. Alfie.
Yeah, I've got Finn Russell here, who is just posing for a photo, but will join us now. Finn, you've just won a series with the Lions. Do your best to try and sum up what you're feeling right now.
Buzzing, it's amazing, obviously. I think... probably a little bit relieved as well. I think we're into that game, we knew they were going to come back, but we were still favourites, and I think just to get over the line after a tricky first half was brilliant. So I'm buzzing. It's probably again not sunk in yet, just directly after the game, so not sunk in yet, but it's awesome.
Special moments tonight with the boys, special moments with the fans, special moment with your family here as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's always special moments with the fans. I've travelled over 90,000 here. My family, friends coming over. A lot of them just landed yesterday, which is amazing. So it's great fun, great memories.
Mate, he's just spotting someone there in the crowd. Finn, just final one for you. What were the messages for the final play to stay so clear-headed to be able to finish that off?
There wasn't any real messages. It was just we knew we had to go and score a try or get a penalty to have the kick. I didn't have my kicking boots on, so it's good that we scored the try instead. But no, I think just keeping a calm head. We knew what we had to do. We had a lot of momentum at that time, a lot of go-forward ball. Potentially could have gone for a drop kick, but I think we were so dominant that holding the ball phase after phase, they were going to be under pressure at some point and chase a ruck, and we got the mismatch in the end, so that's all that matters, that we got the try and got the win.
Many congratulations, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, cheers, thank you.
Alfie Reynolds alongside Finn Russell there. What a season that man has had, Ben Kay. I mean, he's been your man throughout, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and has typified the way the Lions have played on this tour, and it's not always going to be brilliant free-flowing rugby, but even in terms of that last try, a couple of times they nearly came unstuck, but they just looked really calm. So when the Wallabies were coming through, there was a big carry from James Ryan, but in the heart of all that, Finn Russell was under a bit of pressure and he got himself out of jail when he could have got turned over. That gave them the platform off the back of Ryan's carry for Hugo Keenan to scamper in. Did really well to stand Len Nikotau up. So I think when you play with players who are great and in the zone and sort of leading the way, it rubs off on everyone else, just that calmness. I talked about how much time he seems to have on the ball, and that means that everyone else's game is a lot easier, particularly when you're 10. Who's your quarterback? Who's leading you around the field? When he looks like he's in the zone, everything else is so much easier for us not so talented players around him.
Let's bring back in the Wallabies all-time. Oh no, hold on, we're going to go back pitch side now with Alfie Reynolds is alongside Andrew Porter. Alfie.
Yeah, thank you, Shaban. Andrew, thanks for stopping for me. We're in the midst of the celebrations here. You just said to me, this is insane. Try and sum it up.
It's hard to put into words when it's such an occasion like this, and I suppose all the supporters that came out to see us made it feel like a home game nearly, like with that sea of red around the stadium, and I suppose the noise and the excitement that was building all week for us. So it wasn't a perfect game, but the result was there in the end, and sure, look, you can't ask for much more than a series win after 2 games. So we're delighted. It's hard to, I suppose, fathom the magnitude of this occasion, but it's insane, incredible.
And what a way to win it as well. Try with the final play, heart in the mouth for you.
I think Hugo did incredibly well to finish that. He was never in doubt really, but to have it go down to the last play of the game, what a way to finish, and I suppose it makes it incredibly special doing it with this group, and what a stage to do it on, what a stadium to be at. It's pinch me stuff.
You didn't do it the easy way, but a match, no doubt, you're going to remember for the rest of your life.
Exactly, yeah. We gave the fans something to come and cheer for. We gave us a bit of excitement. So what more can you ask for, I suppose, as a spectator? Obviously, like to clean it up as players, but that's the way that the cookie crumbles, really. So, but yeah, delighted.
Well, listen, I'll let you go. There's a whole sea of red here to congratulate you. Enjoy it, mate.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Oh, congratulations to Andrew Porter alongside our reporter Alfie Reynolds. Going to go back to our commentator now at the MCG, Andrew McKenna. Porter said that it was like a home game, Macca. The place is absolutely jumping.
I wish you could see what I can see. I'm going to try and describe it. So they've actually opened one of the gates down beneath us, so all the Lions family can be on the outfield with the players. So there's about 70 more people have now descended on it. All the Lions families, children, and all sorts. I've just seen Ian Evans finally make contact with Andy Farrell and give him the biggest hug you've ever seen.
Wow.
And the two of them had their biggest smiles you've ever seen. The players are now doing a lap of the MCG. This place is so big that's going to take a while, by the way. But I feel for the stewards, because none of the families are being allowed to go with them, so they're almost having to act as almost like human filters to try and work out who's a player and who's a family member, because they don't want the families to go on the lap of honour, just the players.
Very nice. I'm not crying. You're crying. Emotional scenes at the MCG. The Lions have claimed the series. Somebody else is crying, not for a good reason. It's David Campese, the all-time record try scorer for the Wallabies. Campo, we were talking there about you going into this game saying you want to see a good performance from the Wallabies. You want to be entertained. Did that happen?
Yeah, it did. I mean, the thing is, it's you've got to play. I've always believed you only play as well as the opposition lets you play. And in that first half, the Wallabies had all the ball, and it made it very difficult for the Lions. But again, the second half, the reserves, the guys have come on, actually added. You're supposed to come on as an impact player, and the Lions players did. For me, Finn Russell was the best number 10 in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so calm. There was once, I think Ben just mentioned in the second half towards the end, he almost got caught, did a little run around and got out of it, then got up again, and he's always in position. And the good thing about that for me is you don't know what he's going to do, and that's what makes it so good. I think now on TV they're just showing that last clean out by Morgan, and then it's just a big, bit of a dive there, I think. Wallaby, unfortunately.
Well, I can tell you, sorry, Capo, just to say, I'm just reading apparently on the Australian TV, Morgan Tiranui, the former Australia international who's doing the co-commentary, has called the officials too weak to give the penalty against Jack Morgan. So that is not going to be the last that you are going to hear of this. There will be some fallout.
Morgan Tiranui is an outside centre, mate.
Campo, can I ask you as well, I mean, the World Cup in Australia 2027, a huge turnout, a huge attendance tonight, a game that really was needed on Aussie soil as well. I mean, how do you feel about Joe Schmidt? Because you hammered him pre-game, you hammered him last week. Did he get it better tonight?
Well, I mean, he brought in a couple of guys. Like Skelton plays in England now, or France. We've got a lot of young players coming through the system. He's been in charge of the Wallabies for 2 years, and he still doesn't know what his best 15 is, which is not great. Yes, we've got a couple of years to go, but I don't think he's around after this year. It's got Les Kiss has taken over. He's the Reds coach.
Yeah.
Look, it's very important to me, and we need to get to understand who we are as a team. We've got some fantastic backs. We've got some really good back lines. So while he doesn't get the ball, that's where the opportunities are. But he's been used as battering rams instead of actually trying to get the ball out there. We've got some really good wingers. Jorgens doesn't get it, and I mean that's where our strength is. But we haven't seen the best of that yet. And that's why I think we still need an Aussie coach to take us forward to the next World Cup.
OK, we will wait and see. David Campese, the Wallabies all-time record try scorer, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you get out that stadium safely, all right?
I will, don't worry.
Take care, Campo. All the best. It's good to know that his phone is charged and he is with us today. Coming up next.
Thank you.
Coming up next here on Talksport, we're going to continue to look back on an incredible historic night in Melbourne. The Lions have won the series 2-0 with a 29-26 win over the Wallabies at the MCG. Hugo Keenan, the hero on the night, getting a try with less than a minute to go. We'll look ahead to the third test. Can the Lions go invincible down under? We'll do it next on Talksport.